Good morning, everyone. You did it. You made it to Friday. I am here. I'm glad you're there. But yes. Wait, what the heck? Where'd I go?
Oh no, I'm tiny. Why am I tiny?
Why am I small? Okay. I don't know what happened. I just I just became tiny for a moment. It just became tiny for a moment. But yes, welcome. But yeah, anyways, let's watch some stuff. Let's just watch some stuff. Before I go on, I just want to say I'm sorry, but this is going to be another short one because I have errands. Yeah, I love being an unk. I love running errands. I love running errands. I love running errands so much. He lied as naturally as he breathed. Hey, how am I? Bad because I have a short stream. Because this is another short stream. I know, I'm sorry. I apologize. But it is what it is. Regardless, let's watch some stuff. There's a lot of stuff here. I don't have a lot of time, so let's waste it all on a Seth. I actually haven't watched this one. I thought I did, but I didn't.
Domain expansion, Immaculate Crack Rock. Domain expansion, Homeless Fist.
Whoa.
Hey, disciples. Seth here.
Jujutsu.
Let me tell you about a game that's transfixed
Heck
and
yeah.
captivated me for the past many days.
Yeah,
The
beat that
Matchless Kung Fu
lolly.
is an immersive sim that shows what life would be like if every man, woman, and child was trained in the martial arts. That is to
Heck
say,
yeah.
life would not last very long. This game takes place in
You'd
the
be
genre
instantly
of wuxia.
dead.
This is Chinese
Wushu.
sword fantasy fiction, but a little more grounded than some I've
Oh, hey,
covered in the
amazing
past.
cultivation
The game
simulator.
works like this. You play a world simulation where everyone has their own desires and motivation, which you expand by putting down plots of land. These are
Ooh,
pre-made areas containing a challenge.
interesting.
If you finish an objective, you can place more land, and you keep going until, inevitably, a Shaolin master breaks your spine. You're not
Uh-oh.
expected to win from the first or second try. The actions you took in a past life will influence the next through karma, and you're not expected to understand any of this. That's why I don't have to explain to you why I began my journey drop-kicking roosters and fighting with a family dog. Nor do I have to explain to you
Nice.
this incredibly elaborate system of
Whoa.
rock, paper, scissors.
This
and
is
combat
Uma
because the
Musume.
tutorial went over my head, but I've retained the knowledge non-verbally. And finally, despite being, at the time of this review,
Whoa.
a complete demigod with
Sick.
perfectly harmonized meridians, I can confidently tell you I have no idea what's going on. For being the product of RNG, my first Chinaman turned out looking okay. My very first quest
Alright.
was to beat the shit out of wine-stealing monkeys. Only to find out animals can be
Nice.
tamed. Abilities vary
Fight the-
between
fuck
animals,
the
but for
monkeys.
monkey, this was begging.
Don't do that
The
literally.
monkey can beg for money, which infuriates the local beggar as I'm taking away from his local business.
He's
In this
taking
game,
his job.
beggar is a profession, and just like doctors operate clinics, beggars operate churches. I was driven away and had to beg downhill instead. Then I got a quest to deal with some bandits. No problem, I thought, until I
bandits.
saw they were two women who could kill just by breathing on me. Luckily, my
Uh-oh.
objective wasn't to defeat
Women
them, just
are
burn down their
powerful.
camp. This was very easy because they took several naps while I was doing so, only stopping when I burnt down their mattress. So they left and started harassing the locals. As it turns out, one of
Uh-oh.
the bandits had the charitable perk, which meant that she would
Charitable?
rob the local store, beat up the owner, and donate all her savings directly to my monkey. I made a lot of money
Awesome.
from the bandit monkey pipeline, and I found the constant brawls to
Awesome.
be very entertaining, until it wasn't, and the store owner was dead on the floor. I realized I had to do
No.
something, or I was going to lose a lot more NPCs. I lured the two bandits into a non-lethal sparring competition, broke their strength, quickly rested, and jumped them again before they could recover. This bumped up my reputation,
Awesome.
and I was offered
That's
a
how you
selection
deal with
of
women.
different schools of martial arts. Naturally, I chose to join the drunken sect. Not only
Heck
did I get
yeah,
a bunch of
drunken
skills that are
fist.
simple enough that even I can reliably combo, I also got informed that I had a secret admirer. Who, may I
Ooh,
ask? Well, the
who?
person telling me. And just like that,
Oh,
I had a
okay.
significant other. She
Oh,
sleeps on
okay.
the floor. Sorry, honey. The bed
Nice.
is reserved for me and the monkey. As we lay together and
Got-
pick lice out of each other's hair, our
Gotta keep, bros before hoes. Gotta keep that monkey in the bed.
bond strengthens. Following cultivation tropes, you can attend auctions to bid on rare
Ooh,
and expensive
nice.
items. Every time
Of
someone
course
makes a
there's an
bid for
auction
item
house
or
in this.
increases their bid, the other guests become more jealous. If you let this play out in the background in its entirety, everyone who went to the auction is now seething with hatred and will try to kill every other attendee. In this game, you don't get stronger
Naturally.
from fighting. You get
Whoa!
stronger by connecting shapes in the right order to activate your
Ah,
kung fu.
shapes.
In my case, however, I got alcohol immunity. I didn't understand the value
Nice.
of this until I sat down for a drink and saw a small option to make a toast. I could forcibly drink someone under the table, and when they're passed
Nice.
out, I could kidnap their body and rob them blind, which is
Nice.
exactly what I did for the next
Awesome.
hour, until everyone was running around in
Nice.
sub-zero temperatures in boxer shorts. Putting down enough normal plots lets you place special plots, such as towns. Soon as I
special.
entered, two
How
men
special?
started bickering because one had slept with the other's wife. I
Uh-oh.
intervened against infidelity, but a little too strongly, because he was now dead. I sat down at the bar to continue my drunken robbery when the same woman who committed adultery tried to seduce me. Honoring my
Uh-oh.
beloved, I rejected her advances.
She's
So
trouble.
She threatened to kill me if I said no, and she did because she's got 12k vigor. So I reloaded.
Fuck. Fuck. I'm pretty sure that was that's the plot of an anime or any wushu novel, really.
To try to beg for forgiveness. Instead, she let me off lightly by breaking my legs. The irony
No!
of the situation is that she owned the town clinic and would help treat my crippling disability the next day. I lived a good life. I trained hard, and despite that, I am surrounded by sociopaths that could kill me on a whim. I hate this
Oh,
place.
my
I wanna go
toes!
parkour across water. Going far north in the map is how you get captured and imprisoned. This is not a
Uh-oh.
bad thing. This is how you unlock your second and third character slots. As said before, you're not meant to win
Cool.
on the first try. Or rather, you're not the main character. The protagonist of this
Ooh.
story is your ancestors. Quick briefing on power levels. Everything is
Ancestors.
about vigor, which is how much punishment you can take. No matter how good you are at finessing the combat and exploiting meridians, your starting character's vigor will cap off at around 2k. So for reference, at
Oh.
your absolute peak, You're
Monkey.
half as strong as a giant toad. How do we remedy this? Genetics. Much like a trailer park.
Is this
much more of
mugenics?
a gene pond than a gene pool. Your choice of partner has consequences on your child's pedigree. You need to choose the right China man or China woman to chintegrate into your lineage. If you're the offspring of a
Chintegrate.
sect leader, you're born with
Nice
2K extra vigor. That's nice, but we need to go even harder.
But we
There are
need
many
more.
myths,
We
many
can do better.
legends. In
We
high
can do
school,
better.
we used to nipple cripple each other. If you're not familiar, that's where you grab both nipples and twist painfully, usually in the changing room when they're most vulnerable. Until one of our friends told us that's how a kid got nipple cancer, because he got nipple crippled too often and it became a tumor. We knew the story was bullshit, but we were scared and we never did it again. Similarly, I heard tales of people hitting 30k vigor, and I think I know how. Some call it intuition. I call it reading a guide on Steam. Karma are objectives you complete during life that allow you to take different blessings in the next. Our objective, pristine birthright, requires the following: 30 lovers, 30 grudges, for $1 million gold. Gold is out of question, so I went with 30 grudges instead. For
30
reference,
grudges.
The worst thing you can do to someone is destroying their kung fu. Understandably, beating someone so hard they forget how to move creates a lot of animosity. At first, I was non-lethal and just battled people, stole their kung fu, and locked them in a cage. This got problematic very quickly. I would imprison someone's mother, so their daughter would show up and start breaking the cage from outside, trying to rescue them. So I had to knock her out, put her in another cage, only to see the mother try to break out from inside to rescue her daughter. Everyone started bonding over their shared predicament, became friends, and tried to make a prison break. Eventually, it was too much, so I had to start taking heads. All I wanted was 30 enemies, but it seems now I'm going to need 30 body bags. This was a problem because I couldn't keep track of the people I killed and their relations to one another. I accidentally killed off someone's parent, only to find out their daughter had 12k vigor and was chasing me across the land. I died several times and had to reload. The only way I was going to survive was by friendship and paying the master of my
power of
sect
friendship.
1,000 gold to beat the shit out of her. As I took her head, I realized, why do I even need this karma quest when I have a small army that can finish the entire game? There are no words.
Heck
to
yeah,
describe the experience
charisma
of
build.
combat when your fights are
The best.
stacked 20 against 1.
That's the best.
Except incredibly fair.
The
thought
power of
I was
friendship.
invincible, but I flew too close to the sun. You
What
see, slowly,
happened?
over time, my army kept taking internal injuries, but their AI wouldn't let them go to a clinic for treatment, and I didn't pay attention. Suddenly, some of them died, which caused their friends to blame me for their death, which forced me to fight back. But then they died, and my other companions attacked me. My failure cascade was out of control, and I died at the hands of my own men. I thought I was the boss of this empire, but in truth, I was nothing but the boss baby. I looked back at the footage to figure out exactly where it all went wrong, and surprisingly,
getting a lot of
it
boss
wasn't
baby
inflicted
vibes
injuries.
from
No,
this.
What happened was I ate shit to see what happens, and I saw the animation, and I thought it was really funny. However, my dysentery gave me a stack of poison gas, which spreads from close contact.
Oh
My
no!
army was exclusively in close contact. So the cause of death of everyone, and myself included, was my own excrement. But it turned out in this life that I finished my karma quest. Pristine Birthright gives you the single biggest power spike in the game, if you can actually use it. If I could figure it out, I'm sure you can too. In case you do this yourself, I found out I didn't actually need grudges, and I could have just marked 30 people as enemies. Turns out, force-feeding people shit, gouging out their eyes, and repeatedly breaking their legs was completely unnecessary, and says a lot more about myself. My unscrupulous actions would come to haunt me for my third character, as I start with ill fate, which means I'm more likely to be struck by lightning. I try to cheese the system by praying for rain and speedrunning life. Unfortunately, lightning only cooks you, so I tried dying to bandits. They refused to kill me as well. Instead, they put me in a cage and went to sleep. Occasionally, they would wake up and poison me before going back to sleep. This also failed to kill me. Frustrated, I ran to the Forbidden Palace, which is this game's version of a government. This is staffed by people who are referred to as an incomplete person, who are their precious treasure. This is a very Chinese way of saying they lost their penis. I could go on to explain how dynasties fought to prevent nobles and public officials from seizing power because they couldn't produce children. But I digress. Anyway, I set fire to the palace, and I was promptly executed. And it was all for nothing because my negative karma was still there. Also, I found out Groin Kick has a chance to permanently crush your balls. Do with this information as you will. So I made my fourth and final character, Supreme Genetics. Excellent karma. And you know what he does with it? Nothing, because I unlocked Beast Tongue and can now tame infinite monkeys.
Yeah, monkey army.
Sector. This game is undeniably early access. The translations can
Very
range from
undeniable.
English to absolutely esoteric, but the gameplay is so intuitive that I never felt like I was missing out. There is one exception to this.
What?
It's called verbal duels, and they're completely insane. This is the equivalent of an online debate, where the objective is to
Oh, look,
mentally
it's
break your
Twitter.
opponent. Instead of vigor, you use spirit, and depleting someone's spirit will put them in hysteria.
It's rage
and hysteria
baiting.
can lead to death. This game lets you troll someone to death. It's really hard to
Holy
say
shit,
which
it's
single event in
Twitter.
the sandbox broke me. Was it the time I went to the clinic for a broken leg, only for the doctor to forcibly throw me outside because it was 1 minute past his bedtime? Or was it my wife screaming
So
at me
true.
for having an affair, as I have no option to explain to her that I have no relation to this giant black serpent, and it only holds feelings of intimacy for me because I implanted it with a love parasite. Since writing these lines, my world got flooded. I tried to swim north and got eaten by a great white shark. This came out of nowhere, so it scared the shit out of me. This was the worst jump scare I've ever had. I got crinkles in my diaper and was very afraid. So I'm giving this game a 0 out of 10. In all seriousness, if you're willing to put up with a lot of bad translation and want a sandbox where you can live out your power fantasy of killing everyone with your bare hands,
hell
then
yeah.
I thoroughly recommend it. For the price they're asking, I definitely got my money's worth. It's pleasant, it's charming, and there's a lot to explore, but I haven't had the time to cover. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. This video didn't take that long. Many of my videos take very long, and even longer as time went by. Decision paralysis corrodes every content creator. However, my autism has been cured. Thank you, Lexapro, and most of all, thank you, Allah, for your glorious blessings each day. I have a couple
Praise
ads this
Allah.
year.
Alhamdulillah. I did not have relations with that giant black serpent. That the color of the serpent is very important. I feel like the publishers are completely underselling the fact that you can have epic kung fu battles with farm animals. Put that shit in the cover. You can actually fly in the sky riding an eagle or a xiaolong once you tame or mind control them. Amazing. That's awesome. Seth is slowly becoming a full scholar in Chinese crackhead martial arts games. Wuxia Kenshi is not what I thought I would ever exist, but I'm all about it. You heard him, juniors. Gotta do your Chinese reps. Gotta do them as always. Dude, the animations of the animals have couldn't combat actually have me in tears. That's awesome. The bandit monkey type pipeline. We really do live in a society. But yeah, that's the real moral of the story. Do not fall. You should definitely fall in the bandit monkey pipeline. It's excellent. It's great. The best. Yeah, I have pretty much most of, if not all, the Seths on standby. At least the ones that I haven't watched yet or reacted to yet. Like, yeah, some of them I have watched before, but I thought I did, but turns out I didn't. Anyways, Mother Horse Eyes. Remember this one? Prepare.
On the internet, reality is often more difficult to discern.
Oh.
Beginning on
What
April
could this be?
21st, 2016, numerous strange comments were peppered all across Reddit, often deep into the comments, making them difficult to spot. These comments, though written in clear English, baffled readers with their nightmarish, disjointed ramblings. They spoke of strange phenomena called flesh interfaces, and of countries
Flesh
that forbid to
interfaces?
construct them by dosing researchers with LSD, as well as experimenting on live humans, especially children, by sending them through portals. These
What the
posts
heck?
were written in first
Frederick
person by a
Knudsen.
singular author who went by the baffling moniker of _9 mother 9 horse 9 eyes 9.
Mother
For
horse
example,
eyes.
in the funny subreddit, when a Navy
The
serviceman
funny
noted how he was
subreddit.
sick of Dubai, a comment appeared speaking of terrifying occurrences in the city. Part of it reads, Dubai probably has the highest rate of free-floating non-interface incidents of any major metropolitan area in the world. In one incident, a large group of migrant workers was segmented in an underground facility, perfect cross-sectional segmentation along the frontal plane. You could see their lungs working, food being digested, blood pumping on the inside of the heart, everything.
Ugh.
They lived for almost 5 months in this condition, absolutely fascinating to see in person. They closed the comment by stating that they seem to show that the interfaces do indeed concentrate on flesh, living up to the name.
What the hell?
These comments, naturally, piqued the interest of curious readers. When viewing this user's profile to read all of her posts, these writings began to make more sense, with each comment providing another piece of what felt like a hidden puzzle. Banding together in a matter of a few days,
Elizabeth
these users
Bathory
created a
was trying to
subreddit
make a
named
flesh
after
in
the
her-
nebulous author to track her posts and discuss their meaning.
Was trying to make
While
a
it was
flesh in
clear
her
to
face.
most that
That's
this was a novel
spooky.
method of disseminating a work of fiction, it was difficult to shake the feeling that they had stumbled upon something dangerous and powerful. They began to affectionately refer to the author as Mother Horse Eyes, or MHE for lack of another name or any other definite features. On the third day of posting, the comments began to take on a new, more narrative tone. While the posts from the first 2 days had sounded more like someone summarizing information, these new posts read as personal accounts of incidents taking place during World War II from multiple people, and they were horrifying. One post gave a soldier's account in Vietnam of finding a fleshy throat winding down into the earth and exhaling putrid breath, while a researcher's account details an 8-year-old girl sent through a portal and returning encased in a fleshy membrane that fed her a constant high dose of an LSD-like substance. This sudden flurry of specificity was fascinating to
Freaky.
the readers and equally concerning and terrifying. to
Dude,
those
what the fuck
encountering Mother
exactly?
Horseye's comments for the first time. The community was
My
split.
sentiment
Some
exactly,
people thought that
secretly
this was an
different.
elaborate work of fiction, while others thought that Mother Horseye's actually had serious mental issues and that she earnestly believed that what she was writing was real. Still more suspected that these posts were a marketing campaign whose purpose would eventually be made clear. Sometime during the third day, or at the beginning of the fourth day, Mother Horse Eyes did something surprising. She addressed the community directly through a text post in the subreddit dedicated to her, entitled Hello,
Whoa.
Friends. In this post, she stated that she was in fact a he. He was a
Oh.
30-something American
So Mother
male
Horse
without the
Eyes was
benefits
actually
of college
Father
education
Horse
or a
Eyes.
stable job. Sadly, I have spent most of my life drunk. He explained his writing by saying that, quote, I am attempting to use the techniques of fiction and suspense to hopefully generation interest in this information. Your subreddit furthers this aim, and I sincerely
Ooh.
thank you for creating it.
How
The
creative.
error is his.
How
He
interesting.
continued by stating that we must sort through the many possible pasts to find the few possible futures which result in a humanity free to live and die as humans, and not as an unholy agglomeration of mindless flesh. Through repeated self-experimentation, I have fractured the time state of my brain, and now it exists in an ever-shifting state between various pasts which didn't happen. He
Uh-oh.
closed with an ominous statement. We are on the verge, all of us. Times are dire. We are about to be gathered again into the arms of the Mother, to become one flesh with her, the Mother who gathers lost children, the Mother I have seen in dark spaces since I was a little child, back when I called her the Mother with horse eyes. We are about to meet her again. We are about to be unborn.
Oh,
Ironically,
so
this
that's
fourth
why it's
wall
called
break
Mother
solidified
Horse
the
Eyes.
suspicions of many readers that Mother Horse Eyes was not a mad rambler, but rather an excellent writer, one that had drawn each of
He
them
really
into a
is.
narrative construct.
He really is
There
an
was a
excellent
major
writer.
error in
He
his
seems
work.
that way.
It was that the writing was too good, and some suspected the occasional grammatical error or missing word was intentional to build this facade of an uneducated man. They remarked on the execution of such a strange meta-narrative, with a writer pretending to be a character with a fractured consciousness who spoke in the voices of even more characters who may or may not have ever existed, and may or may not eventually exist, as well as other characters who may exist in parallel realities.
It also mentioned that poster mentioned House of Leaves. Also, I'm fully aware that this video is another one of those just scratching the surface. And if you actually take the time to read them, if you actually do take the time to read it, it is actually more buttfuck insane than the surface level stuff, which I'm gonna keep my cursor on. Yeah, that's the thing, is this is very surface level. I am aware of that. Will I do a proper reading of this someday? I don't know.
Others, however, still were convinced that the writer was mentally ill and that he believed that these narratives were real in other
The
dimensions.
always
citing his
hilarious
apparent
time
fervor.
cube.
But soon, these readers would be faced with the fragility of such a novel method of authorship.
Huh?
Soon after Mother Horseeyes published his self-post, the subreddit was locked. Readers were confused. One of them, under the name Wismer, created a new subreddit by abbreviating the author's username to 9M9H9E9 so that the people rallied around the narrative could collect themselves. Another user, a moderator of the subreddit under the name GabbyCat, was able to elucidate some of the situation. She wrote, "The primary mod/creator, Catan Overlord, has removed all mods and made the sub private. This was
fucking
verified
super
by a Reddit
mod.
admin. Sorry, everyone."
Super
She goes on to
mods.
state that, "I've also asked for a copy of the wiki that I spent several hours working on last night, but I doubt that I will be given it. I am working on a backup from Sunday, and I have saved all posts to today." However, Gabby mentioned that, quote, "The only thing missing is the author self-post in the old sub. Can't get it." One
Shit.
other person, however, had a plan.
The
Digging into the Google
self-post.
cache of the subreddit, user Behemoth the Cat was able to retrieve the post in its entirety and post it to the new subreddit. Remarking on their
Nice.
panic, Behemoth said, quote, "Once it dawned on me that because that subreddit is gone, the post could be lost forever. I had to find it." Gabby swiftly
had to
added
find
the
it, gotta
post to
find
the
it.
new wiki, which she
Or
has
else it'll
rebuilt
be
from scratch
lost
by
media.
retrieving the original posts from Mother Horseeye's user page. Despite the work of these readers, their old subreddit was still barred from them. People attempted to message Catan Overlord, but their queries were rebuffed. One user, when asking what was going on, received a message from the new singular moderator,
Choo-choo.
I Like Weird Subs, that simply read, "Choo choo." After
Bro
I Like
thinks he's
Weird
a
Subs
train.
posted in the new subreddit, it was clear that this account was created by Catan Overlord to keep the subreddit permanently locked and to occasionally post cryptic messages on the locked page. Why exactly they did this is uncertain, but GabbyCat offers a potential explanation. She stated that she had had discussions with Catan Overlord about the mental state of the author, and she speculated that it could have been due to moral compunctions. Catan Overlord's actions as I Like Weird Subs, however, suggest a simple act of trolling. But by this
We do a
point,
little
their actions
trolling.
were rendered moot. The new
Perhaps
subreddit
it's
was
trolling.
established, and the wiki had been refilled with information by GabbyCat, who had recopied all of the writing from Mother Horseeye's user page. Even as the readers discussed what had occurred, Mother Horseeyes continued posting daily narratives which sometimes only tangentially related to the flesh interfaces or didn't seem to relate at all. Over the next month, a new fictitious piece of technology would be introduced, the hygiene beds. These operated as
hygiene
methods to enter a
beds.
realm reminiscent of the movie Tron, where hyper-real programs could be played to simulate fantastic realities. Users
Whoa.
would turn into escapists who wouldn't leave the beds for years, letting the sanitation systems overflow and their bodies decrepify. He described this
Ugh.
phenomenon in
Yuck.
a post. When a hygiene bed breaks, say the healthy limb system fails or a catheter gets blocked up, it's supposed to cut off the internet feed, forcing the sleeper to get the bed fixed. But it's easy enough to override this cutoff function. Immersed in their feeds, people often forget that the bed is broken, but eventually pain or discomfort will force the sleeper to get their bed fixed. The pain of bed sores or the stench of a backed-up evacuator is a strong motivator, but if the sleeper has direct sense feeds, they can switch off these smells and discomforts. They can even switch off the worry associated with the broken bed.
Jeez. Gross. And to think that the internet and to think that the internet that this is how people on the internet live. Just let their shit and piss overflow. Gross. Horrifying.
By this point, knowledge of this strange story was making the rounds online. The first publication to speak about it, apparently, was Vice's online publication Motherboard, who wrote an article about it entitled _9 Mother 9 Horse 9 Eyes 9 is Reddit's new terrifying mystery. In this article, the writer, Sarah Emerson, discusses some of the plot so far, its method of dissemination, and a truncated account of the closure of the first subreddit. Though the fascination seemed genuine, users from the subreddit criticized it for its misunderstanding of important pieces of the narrative. Not long after,
When
both
I
Gizmodo
sped
and The
read
Guardian
misinfo.
published similar pieces at the same time, but on that very same day, May 5th, Motherboard would receive something special from Mother Horse Eyes, an exclusive piece of the plot. The person in correspondence with him described the encounter. Quote, I reached out to Mother Horse Eyes on Reddit and asked him to expand its fictional empire here. The author sent the following back over the course of 2 lengthy direct messages. Beneath this was an especially long piece of original narrative, making heavy reference to the tale of Roman general Pompey the Great and his peek into a forbidden, sacred place in a Jewish temple. As far as anyone knew, this was the first time that the author had released narrative
Sounds like the plot of
outside
Jacob's
Reddit.
Ladder. A bit.
Around this time, creative pieces based on what had come to be known as the Flesh Interface series were becoming a common
Flesh
sight.
Interface.
A radio play was being constructed, as well as ambient music based on the series, and visual artistic interpretations of certain parts of the narrative became more and more common through the month of May.
Those
Mother
pieces
Horse
of
Eyes
art
also,
look
at
sick.
some point, had begun consulting
Very
with Gabby
awesome.
Cat, the person who had created the wiki for the narrative. When asked about it, she responded that, quote, I talked to him. He responds when he feels inclined to do so. I'm not privy to any more information than you are concerning the story. On May 15th, the fragility of the narrative was once again tested. Mother Horse Eyes cheekily made his 54th post in the series, this one involving intense violence and gore, as a self-post on the Tales from Tech Support subreddit. Soon after, it was deleted by the mods, but this time the readers were prepared. After the incident where they almost lost the Hello
Gotta keep it on
Friends post,
standby.
they had begun archiving new writings as they were made by hovering over Mother Horse Eyes' user page to check for updates constantly. This vigilance proved unnecessary, as this piece was posted again elsewhere as a comment. After this incident, Mother Horse Eyes seemed to select his venues more carefully, posting sexually explicit or violent material in subreddits that wouldn't be so quick to remove such content. As May dragged into June, more and more pieces of the narrative were released as
Whoa,
more
look
and
at
more
that
people
flesh
discovered.
nexus.
Posts got longer and longer, while narrative threads were opened and closed. As the story chugged through the month, the author would occasionally post to the dedicated subreddit, once with
This
a
looks
teaser
awesome.
and once with a full-fledged
Chode or
update. For the
chode?
most part, however, it was Gabby Cat who had become the mouthpiece for Mother Horse Eyes, and their correspondence
God bless
had
Gabby
apparently
Cat.
increased. Near the end of the month, a
Remember
user
when
by the
Reddit mods
pseudonym
were
Karen
good?
Castillo, named for one of the characters
And
in
before
the
they were
narrative,
never good?
began posting in a strange subreddit called Dimensional Jumping, which discusses
Dimensional
methods to alter
jumping.
perception in earnest, though her post was deleted by the moderators for being
No!
the timing
Fucking
of the
mods?
post seemed to suggest
Hate
that Karen
mods.
had
Mod
jumped
hate.
out of her dimension and into that of the readers. Later, she would post to the Mother Horse
Moderator
Eyes
hate.
subreddit, but she was met with suspicion. Others had attempted to create their own offshoots of the narrative, pulling attention away from Mother Horse Eyes' original work, a practice they had come to label game jacking. Someone eventually asked
Damn
Gabby
game
Cat for
jackers.
verification of Karen's legitimacy. to
Stop
the narrative.
hijacking the
By this
DM's
point,
narrative,
Gabby
dang
had
it.
become a full-fledged editor for Mother Horse Eyes and had become deeply ingrained in his creation. She replied with one word: canon. This
Canon.
meant that another character posting to Reddit had now been introduced and confirmed to be part of the narrative, though their true identity remained ambiguous. Along with this, the
Canon,
author character
boom,
had taken on
done.
a prominent role in the narrative at this point, heightening the immediacy while Gabby Cat swatted down gamejackers and the line between reality and the narrative blurred. When Mother Horse Eyes made his next self-post on the subreddit on June 26th, an editor's note, later confirmed to be from Gabby, was included in the post itself, implying that it actively changed the narrator's actions to go drinking again. A few days later, the narrator described himself walking out of his apartment with a bottle of vodka and drinking heavily.
Oh
And then
no.
he went silent.
They got him. They got him.
Finally, on July 4th, after nearly a week, Gabby made a post to the subreddit entitled, "Normally scheduled weirdness will resume shortly." The text read, "People have been drinking and talking. The weirdness went to another level and it's over. The end is coming." Here we go.
The end is
later,
coming.
Mother Horseeyes began slowly releasing long posts, which had come to be the norm until finally, on July 17th, he made his final self-post to the subreddit entitled, "So long and thanks for all the chitinous cruciforms," as a reference to an early part of the narrative. This marked his 100th post and, at long last, the ending of the narrative, having taken 3 months to complete. Though the ending was
Here it
conclusive
is.
for the main plot, numerous subplots were left ambiguously open. But this didn't quite mark the end for Mother Horseeyes. On July 21st, just 4 days after the final part was posted, Gabby put out a call on the subreddit for criticism and input on the rewrite, which was to be full of new writing. Then, much later, on November 30th, Gabby
Interesting.
posted again that work was progressing on the rewrite. This came about a month before Mother Horseeyes made another post talking about what was coming for the rewrite. He stated, quote, "The rumors that I have been hard at work on a book are untrue. I have mostly been goofing off. Despite this, I am close to completing the book." He claimed that the rewrite would have about 50% new material and that he was attempting to pitch it to publishers. In large part, the conceit of the story being anything other than fictional had, at this point, been dropped, but the reader's enthusiasm seemed to still be strong and the reception positive.
Groovy.
2 months later, in February of 2017, Mother Horseeyes began posting again, but after only 3 posts in 3 days, he again went silent. As of today, activity on the subreddit has reached a sluggish pace compared to its heyday, though Gabby still posts regularly. It's rare to see more than 10 users at any time viewing the page. Still, the narrative in its
Only
entirety
4
remains
people in the
collated
feed
for
realm.
new readers to discover, while Mother Horseeyes posts are still scattered across old Reddit threads. It is a monument to the way the internet can be a venue for novel methods of narrative writing, and how powerfully it can affect those who discover it there, where often the lines between fiction and reality blur.
That's really cool, though. But again, this is just scratching the surface of... This really is just scratching the surface of the whole Mother Horseeyes thing. I would have to read it, the whole thing, soon. A talented author wrote a good story, everyone loved it, and a person who dedicated their time to preserving it became the author's right-hand helper. Nice. Fairy queen, flying through the air so fancy-free. Dude straight up building an alternate reality's lore as he breathes. This is awesome. The director says he is the collective consciousness of several different people from pasts that never happened. In other words, he's telling us he's a writer. This is exactly what fiction authors do. He's not even lying or delusional. That is such an excellent way of saying that you're a fiction writer. Is that you are a collective consciousness that retells accounts that never actually happened. Imagine if Lovecraft himself had access to the internet. I can't even imagine what kind of shenanigans he'd try to pull. That'd be awesome. Actually, no, he would probably be shit posting. He'd probably be doing some funny racist shit posts. Nice. This is a Reddit moment. That's not what novelty account means, shit lord. That's the very essence of Reddit. That is truly a Reddit moment. But yeah, Reddit sometimes has some gems like this. Sometimes. But other times, it's just shit. But other times, it's just shit. Speaking of mostly shit, DeviantArt. Remember DeviantArt? All right. Okay. This is for entertainment only. This video is meant to tell a story to keep viewers occupied and entertained. and not a call to arms to harass anyone. So do not harass anyone involved in this, please. If the funny man doesn't want you to do this, neither do I. So please.
The one type of hobby and passion I feel that has benefited the most from the
Oh, you're going a little too fast, buddy. Sorry. Anyways, DeviantArt. This is for entertainment. Don't harass anyone. Be kind. Be good.
The one type of hobby and passion I feel that has benefited the most from the internet is probably artistry. Creating art is probably the oldest form of human expression, as even back in the caveman days where Grug was drawing on cave walls with the blood of his enemies, centuries, millennia has passed, and we're still creating art. And now with computers, the art doesn't even have to be physical anymore. Now, of course, the label of artistry is very broad,
Heck yeah.
and can refer to a lot of things these days, but I'm sticking to the basics and referring to mostly drawing pictures and creating crafts. Whether you want to express yourself or show your love for something, drawing art is always one of the first things people will jump to. Sharing art was one of the first things people did on the internet, posting it on different websites or creating their own websites.
Oh no, I recognize that art style.
Part of the internet.
I recognize that art style.
People have found more ways to get more eyes on their artwork and potentially even make some money off their hobby in this
cute
dire
art,
economy.
I wonder
a
if
lot
the
of online
prices
artists
are
have
the
hopped
same.
from website to website, trying to find the best one to share their art with the world. There was Tumblr, which was the best for a while, and then they ruined that. Then they jumped ship to Twitter, where they probably spend more time arguing about the art than creating it. So it's
Yep, that's definitely true. That is very true. Damn, I really wish Tumblr didn't ban NSFW.
Seems like we haven't got that perfect artist website yet. But hey, when all else fails, we can always go back to tradition. That tradition being DeviantArt.
Oh boy,
every artist has to start somewhere. And for a lot, that was probably on DeviantArt. DeviantArt was one of the most popular art sites of the 2000s.
Oh,
if you were born in the 2000s and loved
DeviantArt.
drawing, you had a DeviantArt. It was law. It was the perfect place
really
for an artist to get a
was.
following online and to communicate with your fans before social media really took off. There's probably a bunch of famous and infamous artists who got their start.
Oh
there.
no!
It was a net positive for the
Dobson.
longest time, but things would quickly change that. Over time, as the website grew and grew, it became, well, known for something else entirely.
Fetish art. Fetish art. Yep.
The website got big enough that it started attracting artists of all kinds. This would lead to an increase in weird, kinky, and
little over half a
which they would then
million
find
for
others with the same interests.
a little over half results for feet of 500,000 results for feet. Nearly 600,000. Jesus Christ.
And then they would make communities, and then developing
I did not
teams
want to
over on the
pause
hormones
on
would
that.
see it, and then get into it, and over the years, a lot of interesting cases were spawned in the midst of this shift.
No.
And entire YouTube channels and series were made to document some of these cases.
DeviantArt.
And
Wait, is this Wait, is this
And now is when I strike when the iron is ice cold. Get your pumps ready. We're going to dive into
the distressing demons of DeviantArt. What a clown show. Oh god. Oh boy, Chase the Hedgehog. I remember Chase the Hedgehog.
Like I
But I
said,
need a refresher.
there used to be a ton of YouTube channels and videos that were made to just look at the weirdness of DeviantArt users. And you don't really see them that much
the
anymore.
hat
Maybe it's
salesman.
because DeviantArt fell out of public consciousness, or it became an oversaturated market, or maybe it was just seen as bullying. You don't have to worry about that. I'm the nicest guy you'll ever meet. So this is really a dead genre I could take full advantage of. And I'm going to be pointing out some of the most interesting ones in my opinion.
Heck yeah.
Now, here's a classic question for you. Do you like Sonic the Hedgehog?
They're alright, I guess. It's alright.
Blah blah, Sonic the Hedgehog's fan base is full of weird people and autists. We all get the picture.
Yeah.
But I think DeviantArt is where this stereotype truly blossomed. This is where it probably started. all these teenage
Fucking
kids getting
patient
the fantasy
zero
communities.
of all the
And when
weird
that involved
Sonic
Sonic the
shit.
Hedgehog, they all made their Sonic OCs of all
Oh
shapes
god,
and
the
sizes.
recolors.
There were so many of these damn things on the site, people made a game based on it. Yeah, you probably know it, the Hedgehog game, where you would type your name into Google Images and see what you would look like in hedgehog form, because every name was attached to some type of hedgehog. Except for me, apparently. I'm not getting any results here. Don't worry, I can fix that. Oh, commissioned artist! Much he needs is autism appeased.
Nice.
There we go. Isn't he lovely?
He indeed is lovely. He's got that Bluster Kong beauty. He's got that iconic Bluster Kong glow. Fascinating.
You can find Sonic fan accounts and communities all over DeviantArt, and a lot of them were, you know...
Man. Okay, note to self. I need to get myself a proper Sonic version of my furry form.
children. And well, what can you really say about a bunch of kids who probably just started drawing and are expressing liking a video game?
This isn't even drawing. This is
There
just like
one,
a
however,
flash
that I think
animation,
makes
a
for
flash
very
video,
interesting
flash
case.
game.
That case is the case of Chase the Hedgehog.
The chase of Case the Hedgehog.
Chase used DeviantArt to show off his fan art for Sonic the Hedgehog.
Look at this kid.
And he has
Look
a
at
lot
this
of skill for someone his
dude.
age. Just
Look at
take a
this-
look at some of his work.
All right. Oh.
Wow. He's still probably a better artist than me. Yeah, Chase's art is not very good. Very MS Paint core. This is apparently supposed to be Silver the Hedgehog, and this is the timeline where Silver's mom got together with a Smurf. And this is Supersonic Level 4. Oh,
Whoa.
so these must be the legendary hentai quills Mark Plummer told us about.
Wait, what?
hentai.
But Chase is a
What?
kid, so it's excusable.
what?
Which is what I would be saying, if not for the fact that this 13-year-old claimed to be 18, when he very clearly was not. The bravado on this kid is something to be admired. In all of my years on the internet, I've never seen a teenager be so adamant on their art. He'll never have self-esteem issues, that's for sure. He even uploaded them to his YouTube channel, which is surprisingly still up to this day, and with
But
only
is
one
it up
video.
now? I wonder. Oh. Whoa.
I didn't add this music, by the way. This is all unedited. But for what he saw as
Awesome.
Picasso, it
Vor.
wasn't the same for everyone else. A lot of people on DeviantArt saw it for what it was. And that just wasn't exclusive to DeviantArt either. Because once the guys over on 4chan found about this, they saw the opportunity to mess with this kid and took it.
Oh no.
Since he had a massive
Not
ego,
the hacker.
it was very easy to set Chase off. And you could find him getting into arguments with his detractors all the time. They would
Oh,
draw fan
no,
art of
he
his fan
doesn't
art,
know.
some even going out of their way to surpass his art in every which way.
Wow.
Of his OC dying in gruesome ways.
oh,
Plenty
no.
of stuff being made.
Haters.
Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat what this is. This is just flat out some grown adults bullying some 13-year-old for being cringe. This was the late 2000s, and the whole thing with cyberbullying and targeted harassment wasn't as widely known as it is now.
Yeah, we
Is it wrong
didn't
for a
know
bunch
at
of grown
the
adults
time.
to draw pictures of a teenager Sonic OC all bloody and beat up? Oh yeah, for sure. But at the same time,
It's kind of funny.
Chase was also in desperate need of a reality check because all of his detractors weren't trolls, as he actually tried to post his MS Paint art in other places.
Uh-oh.
He tried posting his art to a website called Concept Art, which is an actual professional artistry website. You post here to get actual critiques and advice from supposed professionals in the field. And I don't think Chase truly grasped that, as when he posted here, expecting to get nothing but praise for his Da Vinci's, he of course got the opposite. People trying to give him actual advice. Some just thought he was a troll, and Chase wasn't having it. This one quote by this one user best describes the entire situation.
All right.
The best advice I can give you right now is to kill your ego. That was one of the first things I read coming here, and it's true. Ego and attachment will be the biggest hurdles to improvement.
You
Keep
need
in
a
mind
big,
concept art is
hefty
different than
serving of
DeviantArt.
humble pie. Eat
I'd
the
rather not
entire
shit-fling
pie
him
if
the
you
thread got
have
closed.
to.
He made another one. He made one last post calling them all haters and trolls, and that was the end of Chase's concept arc. Oh, and you may
Concept
notice that I've
arc.
been using some screen
Nice.
caps from an account called Twisted Fiend. That's actually just Chase on a different account. It was very easy to tell it was just Chase again. The art styles were pretty much the exact same, and he denied it at every possible
Naturally.
opportunity, even after falling for the oldest trick of the book. He would then do this again
Fuck
and hop
you, I'm
onto a
not
different
fat.
account and fell for the exact same trick again.
What?
Surprisingly, he ended up getting a girlfriend in the midst of all this.
Oh,
God,
no.
DeviantArt girlfriends. Has that ever worked out?
No.
She was 14.
Absolutely not.
And remember, Chase was claiming to be 18. Thank God he was lying about that, because if that were true, then she would chip in and fight the trolls too, and in retaliation, they did the exact same things to her that they did to him.
Oh, no.
He would continue to combat against the trolls, and after a few years of this, it all just petered
Oh,
out.
no.
It seems everyone got bored of Chase's shtick, and Chase would fade into DeviantArt obscurity.
At least until
Chase
now.
is a prime example of the old and forgotten rule of the internet. Don't
feed the trolls. Don't feed
or
the
else it'll be nothing but
trolls.
annoyance and misery for you, and hours of entertainment for someone else.
Don't
Some
become a
believe
lolcow,
this entire
friends.
time, Chase was a troll himself, playing some 4D chess and tricking others into messing with him for art he made awful on purpose, just so he himself could have some entertainment. Whether he was or
I
not,
don't know.
it doesn't matter now.
Don't know
as
about
he's now a
that.
full-grown adult, living his life and probably never thinking about his old DeviantArt days. Or maybe he could be dead in a ditch somewhere in Detroit. Who knows? Godspeed, Chase.
Godspeed, Chase. May you rest in peace. Like, I hope you're lying down somewhere. Oh no, this guy. Oh no, it's
Of course,
this
when
guy.
it comes to DeviantArt, you're never going to escape all the weird kink content
It's
on the
this
site.
guy.
You could click on a random profile and find some sort of weird stuff that gives the person behind it their jollies. You'll always find
Oh,
the usual
no.
suspects, or you'll find
Dobson.
something more specific to their taste.
Oh
Hey there, little
no.
kid. You wanna come right on the horsey's back? I just wanna nibble on your face a little bit.
Oh, I hate
Come
that.
closer to Mr. Horsey. I'm not gonna.
Ugh, the
I
hat
just want to eat your
salesman.
flesh a little bit. Don't you want to ride the pony, little boy?
There's
No,
a
I
plate to pick over
don't.
here, but
I
I don't feel like
don't.
frying my brain that much for this section. That's for later. But then you get into more abstract stuff.
Oh,
The kind of stuff only one person on this planet would ever be into. One of these,
Jim,
I think, that is
yep,
worth
the
talking
hat
about
salesman.
is one that had quite a bit of infamy a couple of years ago, and it's an account named Merlogic1. Merlogic is not an artist himself, per se, so he's the odd one out of this video. Instead,
Oh, he's the
Merlogic
weirdo.
was a commissioner. Instead of drawing the art himself, he would pay artists to draw the art for him.
suspiciously
And the art he
wealthy.
would commission became notorious for being incredibly specific. Every
How
time
specific,
without
I wonder,
fail,
Mr.
Mer would
Mush?
commission an artist to draw rich cartoon women buying Wonder Bread. You can't get any more specific than that.
Okay.
It could be any sort of rich woman, but it has to be specifically Wonder Bread.
It
every
has
time.
to be Wonder
This was the
Bread.
guy's entire
Look,
shtick.
it's Pacifica
If he commissioned
Northwest.
you will be drawing this. Well, this or rich women deforesting entire ecosystems. Either it's a kink or it's a very dedicated bit. When people found out about this, it sort of became a meme of sorts. It was just so specific and weird.
The
People
Wonder
could not
Bread
meme about
guy.
it. But other than that, is that all there is to this guy? Just commissioning people
really?
to draw one or two types of art ad nauseum? Well, there might be more to this than meets the eye here.
Really?
Now, some of
no.
this info may be true, some of it may be complete bullshit. Take anything you see here with a grain of salt, because I've tried my best to piece it all together. In other words, don't
Even
take much
he
of this
doesn't
serious.
fucking know.
Apparently, the rich white woman buying Wonder Bread has a deeper meaning than just being a weird kink thing. According to him, it's supposed to be a parallel of negative stereotypes that are only shown one way in media, and he wanted to create his own version of those stereotypes, of rich white women destroying forests and buying Wonder Bread because they would never actually exist in the real world. Yeah. And every explanation the guy has given,
okay.
I don't think he's ever actually answered the question, why specifically Wonder Bread of all things?
Yeah, why
Depending
though?
on where you look,
Why
you can
though?
find supposed anecdotals people have had with this guy.
Why
And like
though?
I said, take them with a grain of salt. I just don't know if they're true or not. Now, of course, when commissioning an artist, they're going to request what they're drawing and why, and this guy just has to sit there and explain the whole thing for them to get it. And some of them just didn't. One of the artists who didn't get it was an artist who will forever live in infamy. And
Oh,
even mentioning
boy.
his name here is controversial. It was Shatman. Merlogic.
Shadman. Anyways.
Tried to commission Shadman to draw his Wonder Bread art,
Shadman.
and Shadman didn't get it and thought it was stupid, so it never went through. For the best, honestly.
Hey, you can't go.
Shadman.
Never mind.
The only other thing of note
Rested
is
fucking
this story
pissed,
posted on Tumblr
by the
about him
way.
apparently wanting to commission an artist to draw some Toxic Yuri, Korra, and Asami from Legend of Korra.
Oh,
With Asami
no.
owning a sandwich factory and run by slaves, he has apparently spent thousands of dollars on Wonder Bread commissions.
Thousands.
And if that's true, where he gets that
Fucking
money from
hell.
is perhaps the biggest mystery of them all.
Maybe he
But
actually
honestly,
works
the
for
entire
Wonder
thing is
Bread.
framed as overly dramatic in my eyes. It is Tumblr after all. You
is
mean to tell me
Tumblr.
the guy who fantasizes about rich white women buying Wonder Bread and destroying forests isn't mentally sound? No!
I wonder!
Sometimes it isn't just an artist who could be an interesting case. Commissioners are also able to draw up attention, and this guy was a walking legend around 2017.
Comically large burger.
As you can find all sorts of joke images relating to his hyper-specific commissions if you look around enough.
Soldier
But he
eating a
got banned on
giant
DeviantArt,
burger.
and after Tumblr banned
That's
any and all
funny.
not suitable for work content, all the artists left, and MurderLogic had no one to
No.
commission anymore, and he faded into
No.
obscurity.
Rest
He can
in
still be found
piss.
online. He still pops up from time to time, still only really known for his one thing, but he's still out there and he seems to be doing fine.
Address me. No. Seriously. Address me. Address me. Address me, says the elephant.
From time to time, still only really known for his one thing, but he's still out there and he seems
When I look back at all the money I spent on Wonder Bread and deforestation art, which lasted about 2 decades now, it likely doesn't even compare like a drop in the bucket to what this dude spent on this animation. Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck, Verbal
be doing
Ace?
fine. The last thing I want to address is,
That's some
did we
dedication,
ever get
though.
an answer for why
That is some
specifically Wonder Bread?
dedication.
We sadly have not. The closest we ever got was this, and it doesn't really tell us much of anything. And at
Bimbo.
this point, I don't think he'll ever tell us. Personally, I'm more of a Captain John's guy.
I'm more of an Oro. I'm more of an Oro wheat guy myself. I like that gamer bread. I love the seedy gamer bread. Your Ezekiel's and whatnot. Molly Hale is my friend.
There are some DeviantArt cases which are weird, some cases that are gross and uncomfortable, and then there are
Oh
some where
no.
you don't even know what to make of it.
Oh no.
Giving widespread internet access to pretty much everyone has allowed the strangest people to post whatever they like
God,
for the
Ember's
entire world
Ghost
to see.
Squad,
and
though.
sometimes stumbling across the stuff some of these people would create is quite the experience. So allow me to introduce
Zap
you all
to
watching
the
one of the strangest art
extreme.
galleries on
Heck
DeviantArt.
yeah.
Molly
CWC.
Hale is my friend.
Is she though?
So at a glance, this is... how do I even describe this?
What the
Molly
heck
Hale is my
is
friend's art
this?
gallery consists of photos of real-life places with fictional characters from different cartoons and TV shows edited in, and in these photos, they can be all kinds of things. They can be album covers, or movies, or game shows. Not only that, but sometimes these characters will make stilted comments, and then the same comment is made by another character, and then another one. There's this whole
What?
subsection of art where characters will express their love for sitting on the floor of cars. And then again, and again, and again, and again. Repetitive.
Sitting
doesn't
in the
even begin to
back of
describe this
cars.
art gallery. Molly Crosses the Street Alone, the movie. Molly Crosses the Street Alone, the complete series. Molly Crosses the Street Alone, the Christmas movie. Molly Crosses the Street Alone, the board game. Molly Crosses the Street Alone 3, the movie. Happy Bear Cove After. I Crosses the Street Alone, the complete series. Maggie Crosses the Street Alone, the complete series. Tails Crosses the Street Alone, the complete series.
I could cross the street alone the entire series, the great epic, the frickin' longer than the longest running MMO series of all time. That Blue Sharks crosses the street alone, The Taken King, Forsaken, Season of the Witch, Lightbringer, Shade Light, or whatever Destiny expansion is next.
What is going on here?
What the hell's going on?
The
My
entire,
sentiments exactly.
I mean, the
This
entire
is a Tasman
art gallery
Films
is
production,
this.
by the
It's
way.
the same stuff over and over and over. The whole thing with characters sitting
Jesus
in the car floor,
Christ.
there's over 140 of these things. Of all these characters just sitting in the car floor.
Just sitting
What
in the
triggers me
car
the most
floor in
about
the
this
back
art
of the
gallery
car.
is a lot of the time the characters aren't even clear PNGs. They're just JPEGs of the characters cropped from the TV show they're from, and it just makes me wanna,
Yeah, just clean it. Oh,
It's
look
not
at the
worth it.
fuck.
It's not worth it. Some
Look
of
at the
you are probably weirded out and
artifacting.
wondering what
Look at
exactly
the
is up with this art
artifacting.
gallery. And this is when I
It's
reveal the
horrible.
creator of this DeviantArt page. It's not some teenager, but it is instead a grown man named Eric. Eric goes by the name Tasman. He is a 43-year-old man as of the making of this video, and if it wasn't obvious, Eric is far from neurotypical. He's absolutely autistic, but he's definitely more so on the low-functioning side of things.
Oh no.
And yeah, it's controversial to call it that, but come on, what else do you call this?
Yeah,
Eric has been
how do you
making this art
explain that
for
without
years.
How do you explain this without sounding too mean? You can't. You gotta be mean.
And years, over
Just a little.
5,000 pieces. And
Jesus
it's probably the most consistent art gallery I've ever seen. He has barely changed anything about his art because, well, it's for him.
Can you even
and
call
him
this
alone.
art?
Oh, did I forget to mention he's also made song parodies involving his hyperfixations?
Chasing from the carrots when he stands at his school. He stands by his desk in school each day. He plays with the blocks and other toys. He plays with the white guy.
Yeah. Yeah! Merry Christmas! I don't know if the mic's picking that up.
You know, I'm starting to get a sense of deja vu here. He even has his
no,
own website
love
where-
each other!
This is the most
Love each
2000s
other.
looking website I've ever seen. It's just more nostalgia for old TV
Did
shows.
I do
and
love
game
each
shows.
other? I don't
There's
think
a
I
lot of links
did.
here, and a lot of them are also broken.
And
This
I
one
don't
leads
think I
to a
watched
fake game
the-
show called The Wheel of Losers, which seems to be a hodgepodge of Eric's hyperfixations, and it also involves the electric chair and Chinese water
Electric
torture. Okay,
chair?
moving
Wait,
on.
what
There's also
the fuck? What the hell? Electric chair? Merry Christmas!
various links to Tickle Me dolls of the various girl characters he's posted about. I don't think I want to browse this site anymore. Learning this stuff is made by a man in his 40s instead of like a teenager might change the tone of things a bit.
Yeah, sure,
Especially
but
since Eric has this fixation on little girls from old cartoons. Molly Hale in his name is the name of a girl from one of the Pokemon movies, and he especially likes to put this one girl named Penny from an obscure cartoon called Sylvania Families and everything. Every little girl is a kind of cheese.
damn, ain't that the truth?
What the fuck did he mean by this?
Yeah,
It would not
what
take
did
long
he
before
mean
someone
by
will question,
this?
why is this grown man in his 40s
What
making
did
all
he
this
mean
content
by
around
this?
cartoon little girls? Eric making all of this hyper-autistic art would attract a lot of trolls and detractors who would very much accuse Eric of getting his jollies off of making these. Eric would get into fights with these people all the time. He would have constant meltdowns, repeating the same phrases over and over and over again, telling the trolls to stop. And you're probably asking me, so what's the truth on the matter?
What is
Honestly,
the truth?
I don't know. When you look at it from a glance, it does seem very creepy a grown man is making content with a fixation on cartoon little girls. But when you look at the full picture, I don't know. I'm no mental health expert at all, but Eric's mind seems to be stuck on an endless loop. There are many ways one could look at it, but Eric is always fixated on nostalgia. All the cartoons and games he posts about, the way he makes 1,000 variations of the same thing over and over and over again, always talking about how malls will never die out, and sitting
Malls
on the
will
floor of a
live
car.
forever. Gee, I wonder what kind of demographic would ruin shopping malls.
Stuff he likely did as a kid. It feels like after the year 2004, this man's brain just stopped acquiring new information. The most sound theory that I've heard is that Eric's parents, with a low-functioning autistic kid growing up in the 80s and 90s, saw this kind of stuff made him happy and sort of let him wallow in his hyperfixations without any kind of supervision, and thus they took over his life. Watching the same shows over and over again, fantasizing about going to Chuck E. Cheese or the mall, he can only really think about and create content involving stuff from his childhood. And now, this is it. This is all he has. That also includes those little girl characters from those cartoons. He'll probably never move past them. Although he does seem to have this fixation on the cartoon girls making chocolate pears and trains and used to write fanfics on it. Okay, that's a little concerning. So is Eric dangerous? Honestly, I don't think so. Knocking on wood. From the looks of his
I
actual
fucking
life,
hope
it seems
not.
he's going to be dependent on his family for the
definitely
rest of
hope
his days.
not.
He's expressed disappointment with not being able to do grown-up things and being stuck at home, but he does actually seem to love his family. He's talking about how he wants to make his late grandma proud and cook. The only person he seems to dislike is his sister, who he's gone on record to complain about and how happy he was when she finally moved out. I legit kind of feel bad for the guy in a way. knowing he'll be taken care of by someone else and he'll probably be making this content until the day he dies. All in all,
Jeez.
this gallery and the situation surrounding it is very strange. But as long as it's pleasing Eric, that's what its entire purpose is.
Together
If
we
you
can
look at
keep
any of his
malls
art
alive.
without any context whatsoever, it's hilarious. You might have seen his weird pieces floating about somewhere on the web, and now you know where they come from. I am going to drink ocean water! Honestly,
There it is.
just let Eric live in his own world. I think it's what's best
There
for
it
him.
is. Yeah, get scurvy. Yeah. Caesar Romano's Joker drinks ocean water, gets scurvy, and fucking dies. Solid Mario. Simpson. Uh-oh. Is this the obligatory creepypasta video? Uh-oh. Well, yep, this is the obligatory creepypasta part.
Hey, listen. I had a whole section here where I was going to talk about comfort characters. Characters that
Yeah.
a lot of
Comfort
neurodivergent
characters?
people latch onto,
Yeah.
where it makes them feel safe and can relate to them. But then
Yeah, I have a comfort character. She's my wife, and I love her very much, and I want to care for her, and yeah,
I realized
yeah, I do.
if I did that here, it would look bad for all the sane people, compared to the fucking troglodyte I'm about to talk about. So I scrapped the entire section. Sorry if you were
Uh-oh.
potentially looking forward to that, but trust me, you'll thank me later. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the shit and get right to the point.
Yeah, let's just cut to the chase. Los Simpson.
In 1989,
Nice.
a man named Matt Groening created The Simpsons. It was super popular, and in that show there was a kid named Bart, who became a cultural icon around the time. And
Bart.
almost 2 decades later, a man will become obsessed with Bart in the worst way possible.
Oh no.
You want to be uncomfortable? You want to feel gross on the inside?
Yeah.
Well, I can do just that.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to Solid Mario and his DeviantArt gallery.
All right. Oh.
Are you still here? Have you fled yet?
No.
Well, if you haven't, you're well prepared for what's to come.
I am not a
For those who are
coward.
clinically blind, this entire DeviantArt gallery is dedicated to Bart Simpson, drawn in very questionable ways. Now, in truth, I don't know what made me think it was a good idea to put this DeviantArtist in this video, because really and truly, I don't know how much of this YouTube is going to let me show.
They're gonna
Bart's
just gotta
a
spread the
cartoon
word.
character. The show's drawn him naked plenty of times, but they drew him naked to be funny. It's no secret what the intention of drawing him here actually
Welcome,
is.
foolish
This entire
mortals.
gallery is one of the most uncomfortable I've ever viewed
Oh.
on DeviantArt, and that's saying something. All of these pictures of Bart drawn like this, and it's close enough to the actual show style, but not enough to where there is always something off about it. That and the pure black backgrounds, where it's like a deep dark void, or an empty, gloomy house. This picture I'm cropping out just to not risk it, but here, Bart is sleeping with his pajama pants down. Now, I don't even want to think about the implications here. There also seems to be a lot of art of Fry from Futurama. There's
Why
pictures of him
though?
tickling Bart. Or this one, where he's giving Bart a tummy rub. There is an awful text interaction between the two. But that's
I'm not
even the worst
reading
part about
that.
it.
I am
Look at
not
that
reading
facial
that shit.
expression he put on Fry. Just look at it.
Look at it.
That's who he wants to be. He wants to be Fry in that picture, rubbing on that child. That's what he wants. There's no denying it. Look at that dialogue. Look at it.
We've
Look
seen
at
enough.
that dialogue. It's
entire art
horrible.
gallery
I
is
hate it.
Just
I
plain
hate it.
uncomfortable. I feel like I've been put on a list somewhere just for looking at it. But despite
Disturbia.
this, I'm not
One-way ticket to
too disturbed
Disturbia.
by it, because while looking at the gallery itself is incredibly creepy, I'm about to destroy the mysticism and seriousness of it by showing you the creator, Solid Mario himself.
Go. Oh.
This person is the guy behind all the art you've seen. And any sort of fear or uneasiness you felt from looking at that gallery is about to dissipate when you learn about this guy. Reading some of his comments, it makes it more than obvious what the entire gallery is actually about. hugging and kissing and cuddling, and those 3 words right there, destroying any doubt you
Bart
might have
is
had about
sexy.
this guy. Any piece of
Oh
art
my
involving Bart,
God.
you can find Solid Mario in the comments gushing over him. Now, when people start seeing this freak always commenting on Bart in all these freaky ways, of course he was going to get called out for it. But every time it happened, he'd always pin the blame on his autism, or blame the Simpsons movie for that scene where
blame
Bart
his
skates
mental
around nude for
illness.
destroying
Yeah,
his
sure.
psyche. This
Okay.
man is so weak-willed, he let
Yeah.
a scene from a movie turn him into this. And I know some of you are probably wondering, why am I censoring his face? Why am I hiding his identity? Oh, it's not because I care for his well-being. It's because Solid Mario has a history of abusing sock puppet accounts and reporting videos with his face in them for privacy concerns. If this video goes down for any reason, then you know who did it.
Well, it's
Any
been
kind of
archived.
backlash this man rightfully got for being a creep, he did not take it well. Someone makes a YouTube video on him. There he is in the comments defending himself and pinning the blame on everyone else. Wait a minute. There seems to be someone replying to him. Holy shit!
Holy
the
shit,
Bart Simpson!
Bart!
I did draw you nude a lot, but did I ever touch you? No, you never touched me or hurt me. You were always kind and generous. It's really my fault, though. If I had never shown my doodle, this would have never happened.
Oh, is this a
So are we
troll
cool now,
or is
Bart?
this another?
Yeah, we're cool, man. Friends? Yeah, friends. See you for movie night
This
this
is some
weekend,
fucking
Bart.
Mitch
Your place
Connor
this time.
shit.
See you then.
Smile.
I feel like I need a shower after reading this.
Mitch
I've got enough
Connor.
backlash from people like Blackbuster Critic, probably the guy
God,
who made
remember
him want
him.
known to people. Solid Mario was eventually ran off DeviantArt, and he left claiming he was a changed man.
I'm sorry I didn't listen to you when you tried
Mitch
to tell me
Connor.
that I was doing something wrong. I'm sorry I argued with you and harassed you on an alternate account. I'm sorry for everything. You've shown
Yeah,
me
you
the
better
truth,
apologize before I get Chris
You've
Hansen
shown
on
me
your
the light.
ass.
and now I'm just gonna move on and get a new life. A better
Yeah,
life.
choose life. Choose life.
Thank you.
Put down the pencil.
And after all the drama died down, he scattered into the shadows for a couple of years. Nobody heard not a whimper or a peep from him. That is until one day, we're back here again.
Oh
Someone
no!
over on Kiwi Farms made a thread on Solid Mario, mostly archiving his antics from around the time, but there wasn't much to go off of since he was busy in
Okay.
action. They all had a quick laugh at him, but the thread very quickly died off with no new info about him to really talk about. His thread was dead for about 2 years.
That's a
and quickly
funny
died
comment. This 10-year-old looks like he has suffered severe jaundice. I'm aroused. Solid Mario, probably.
off with no new info about him to really talk
Nice.
about. His thread was dead for about 2 years, with only sparse comments here and there. That is until May 2016, when
Oh.
this strange new account named User Anonymous showed up and started replying
I wonder
to
why they
every
blurred
single
out his
post-name
face.
thread, talking about how much of a horrible person Solid Mario was. I wonder who this could actually be.
Who could
They
this
lightly
be?
tapped the bear, and it did not take long before his true colors came out. His thread started quickly filling up while this walking circus act started flailing around like a drunk chimpanzee. He started demanding the thread be taken down or suffer the consequences.
Oh no.
Will never be the
He
same.
contacted the
I can't
cyber
get over
police. He
this.
contacted
This
the
man
E-SWAT.
is a borderline child predator, and somehow he's being cringe about it. He's making your mom jokes and posting nostalgia critic clips to react to the people making fun of him. Abusing sock puppet
Person
accounts
of
is one of Solid
interest.
Mario's favorite
Oh, yeah.
activities besides drawing awful
Oh,
pictures of
I
Bart.
bet.
He would attempt to flood the farm with alts. Blissfully unaware they were able to track everything he was registering. He would spend page upon page,
Gotta use
months and
Molvad.
months, arguing with people in the thread, hoping he could do anything to get them to stop. He bargained. He apologized for his past. He came in the thread with another alt to back himself up, and nothing worked. The thread reached almost 300 pages.
Jesus.
And they started a new one, and then he argued with them in that one. After a
Oh
while,
my
it just
God,
became
it
a
just
slap
keeps
fight between the
going.
farm members.
This
and Solid
isn't
Mario
scary,
playing the
this
role
is
of me, myself,
amusing.
and I. He eventually stopped posting,
Thank
and the
God.
entire thread just petered off afterwards.
Thank God.
So it seems Solid Mario has slinked right back into the shadows where he belongs.
Yeah, never come back
well,
here.
his art gallery was so
And if you come back here, we'll kill you
of
in
the
real
most incredible
life.
shit I've ever seen. But the guy was
Freak.
such an embarrassment to watch. It takes all the tension out of everything. All of his content is gone. For the better.
Thank God.
But he's probably still somewhere out there,
He's
waiting
still
for his
out
next
there.
online meltdown to happen. And people will be there to archive it. So, ladies and gentlemen, be aware. and hide your Barts.
Remember to separate fiction from reality, friends.
Well, that was disgusting in more ways than one. I sure hope I didn't ruin some characters for you all. But that was just
Don't
a
worry,
small taste of
they're already
DeviantArt's
ruined for
devious
me.
demons. I could make many videos on all the strange people that spawn from this site. Many people already have, but we'll have to stop for today. DeviantArt may have been the start for a ton of people, but it will never lose the stigma it had for having the strangest people to ever grace the internet on it.
In
a way,
they
themselves are art. And in the end, isn't that all that matters? This doesn't apply to borderline predators. God bless, like and subscribe, and good night. And remember, boys and girls, you can draw whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, and you have your right as a human being to do so. But, that doesn't mean, we need to see it. Just saying. I'm out.
Yeah, that's for the best. I think that's for the best. This was a classics video. Every little girl is a type of cheese. Amazing.
There are no laws against drinking ocean water, Batman.
Oh my god! Oh god! He was a borderline child predator. He's being cringe about it. Wow. DeviantArt went from actual art and then turned into only 3 things: fetish art, AI slop, and unfunny memes. Damn. Ocean water, big water, deep water. I'm going to eat ocean water. How much do you want to bet that Chase the Hedgehog is now a world-renowned neurosurgeon who's locked that part of his life away like Joker at the end of Arkham Knight? Huh. Murlogic dodged a cannonball, getting his commission rejected by Shadman. I'm a fan of cartoon kids, as the same vibe says. I love kids, Charlie. I love kids. No, wait, don't yell at like that. I think one of the most horrific things about Solid Mario outside of the art is how he frames Bart as being the one at fault. It was the skateboard scene that broke his sanity, and his role play in Blackbuster's comment has Bart saying that none of it would have happened if he hadn't shown his doodle. He justifies his paraphilia through victim blaming like a real life Humbert. But instead of a young girl, it's a fictional little boy. We can only hope he never goes after real children. Jesus fucking Christ, ain't that the truth? Not gonna lie though, I think Murlogic dodged a... Oh wait, I already read that. And yeah, moral of the story, here's the actual story. Kill your ego. This may be the greatest piece of advice that could be given to anyone getting online or posting something for the first time. Don't let that ego take over. It will ruin you and other people's perceptions of you. Yep. That's why I just say I'm not necessarily God's gift to mankind, even though it does feel that way. Even though it does feel that way. Gotta stay humble. Sit down. Be humble. All right. I got one more in me before break. How about Path of Exile? I love me some Path of Exile.
Hey people, Seth here.
Hey Seth.
Let me tell you about a game I've played on and off for years, Path of Exile. Path of Exile is a free-to-play Diablo clone action RPG, and much more of a spiritual successor to Diablo 2 than free could ever be. It's made by Grinding Gear Games, a Chinese Skinner box company operating in New Zealand, a lesser-known colony of mainland China. It is, in the spirit of Diablo clones, a huge grind fest for items and money, but there's layers of complexity to keep you interested. For a start, all your skills come from gems, which come in 2 forms, active and support. Support. Active gems do stuff. Support gems modify the stuff they do. These need to be socketed into items to do stuff, and linked if you want the support gems to actually affect the active gems. This leads to some creative and retarded combos. Cast on Death is a perfectly valid way to play, and don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. There's multiple characters to play with their own backstory to how they ended up on the path of exile. Trademark copyright. Basically, everyone who does bad shit in Oriath gets sent to Rayclast, where they'll probably die in exile. The Templar questioned his faith. The witch had her house burnt, so she fried some boomers' kids, and the Marauder didn't meet diversity quotas. Most of the classes have good reasons for being shipped off to Rayclast. My favorite has to be the Duelist, because his entire reason for being here is literally some nobleman talked shit to me. So, I fucking killed him. What a guy. You can see where the inspiration came from for all the different settings. Rayclast is loosely based on New Zealand. The forests are filled with koalas who want to tear your skin off, and the beaches are filled with meth heads who want to stab you for your wallet. Your skills mix with your gear, and these in turn are influenced by your passive skill tree, which is fucking massive. Just look at this shit. Every class starts in a different spot on the tree, but all the passives are the same. Classes get to choose unique passives later on.
Can you believe it's even bigger now? I think even in Path of Exile 2, it's mega huge.
Might sound very complex at first, and then you'll realize that nothing fucking matters except more life and damage. I recommend the first time you play to just do your own thing and
so you don't get one shot.
Once you hit a brick wall and can't progress any further, look up one of the most meta builds for the current patch and brainlessly steamroll through the content. It's a learning experience, and there's a lot to do. Finishing the main arc of a story is just the start of Endgame, where you will autistically tweak out your characters with more and more ridiculous setups until you burn out and stop playing until the next league. The classic life cycle of most Diablo clones. Or, in the case of one of my friends, finish Act 3 and tell me that the game's too short because he missed the exit leading to the other 7 acts. When asked about his build, he said, "What do you mean linking gems? I've just been using Heavy Strike. Path of Exile has a bit of a learning curve, and it's not for brainless. But as long as you come from a civilization that's discovered fire and has some frontal lobe development, you'll be okay. Each league puts a new spin on the game mode, giving you new ways to grind, and you can choose to either play as softcore or hardcore. Hardcore players are, of course, the vegans of Path of Exile, and we all know there's no such thing as a quiet vegan. If you interact with a Path of Exile player, they'll either tell you that they also play and enjoy the game, or they'll start screaming incoherently that they only play hardcore, solo self-found, and that they desynced for 1 millisecond yesterday and lost their character for the 3rd time this week. As a free-to-play game, Path of Exile servers sometimes aren't the best, and you can rubber band or desync. This isn't a problem for a regular human being. Hardcore players will, however, pathologically blame everyone but themselves for dying and demand a server rollback each time it happens. This pathological behavior extends into their private life, as many of them have, unfortunately, lost custody of the kids. Siphoning alimony payments into microtransactions ensures that their spouses receive minimal support. Their children may have mandatory visitation days, but they universally hate it. One child I talked to, Timothy, was brutally beaten with a bamboo stick after he picked evasion over a health node on the passive tree. And you know what? He got off easy. But the game is completely free. The only money you spend on it is on...
Yeah, you get hit a lot in these games, so evasion's kind of pointless. So just keep stacking life.
Microtransactions, which don't directly influence gameplay. Even if you're not interested in cosmetics, you will, sooner or later, need practical shit like extra stash tabs and specialized tabs for holding currency items. Speaking of currency, that is the primary objective of this game, obtaining currency. Unlike fiat banking systems in modern countries, the primitive people of Rayclast trade items for rocks of different colors. You can smash these rocks in your equipment, denting and changing them in the process. An Exalted Orb is one of the most valuable rocks, and many players haven't even found one. Chaos Orbs are far more common rocks, but appropriately rare enough that they're the gold standard for trading. The main point of Path of Exile isn't the creative builds, the metagame, or the challenge of getting to max level.
What is it?
It's trading. I sit here all day, plug into Polytrade, and I flip shit for hours and hours. I don't even leave my fucking hideout, which is beautiful, by the way. I'm so glad I picked Haku as my master. What other master lets you place dead fish and rotting bodies on the shoreline. What other master allows you to block the entrance with shipwrecks and pointy sticks? None of them, except
Nice.
Haku. I'm hooked into
Awesome.
every API. I've got that shit on live alerts. I've got Poe Trade on my phone so I can lowball people for prices on alt accounts. I try match users with known sex offender registries so I can blackmail them into selling their lore weave for cheap. I make prints of all my trades and fax them to children in Malaysia just to inspire them. I
Very
buy shit
cool.
cheap and I sell it higher. Why? For what purpose? To see the numbers rise.
Number
At its
go
heart,
up.
This
Play
is
the
the
market,
real meaning
number
of
go
Path
up.
of Exile. It's a
This is the
cutthroat
real
world
Path
out
of
there,
Exile.
more brutal than any corporate position, but less paid
Very
and with longer
brutal.
hours. Do you really think you've got what it takes? Being good isn't
Oh,
good
absolutely.
enough. Not when you're competing with hundreds of Russian spam bots on auto refresh.
Sacrifice
Sometimes you'll even
Down
take a
syndrome.
holiday to the beach, but you won't be able to relax. You'll spend all your time there sending out hundreds of trade requests a minute. There is no sleep. There is no rest. Just a 24/7 Beijing grind. You often do things so
Beijing
fast
grind.
you forget who you even messaged. Did Delve into my anus want 2C or 3C
That's a
for that
good
ring? Or was
name.
that little pump suck from a minute ago? And you don't want to embarrass yourself by asking. Just act cool. Put a chisel on the table so he knows you mean business. Don't worry, he'll be back. They always come
You'll
back.
be
Trading
back.
is a wild place.
You'll be
and you can
back.
also
They
hang
all
out on the
come back.
global chat while
I
you wait,
always
which is a
come
great and intelligent place to be. Currently, they're discussing if it's gay to suck your homie's dick, ironically. But there's
No,
one
it's
rival
not.
in my quest for capitalist
not.
domination. China. The Chinese
China.
conspiracy on Path
Of
of Exile
course.
is plain for all to see. They've
Of course
grown
it's
so bold,
China.
they don't even bother hiding it. Chinese gold farmers running hundreds of bots threaten the stability of our economy. Global
Damn
chat is often
Chinamen.
spammed with Chinamen with Chinese names like or as the
Those damn
asking you
Chinese
to go
bots.
to dogfart.com to buy exalt orbs and chaos orbs for the low price of $2 or 1 cent a
You
piece.
can't outrice the
respectively. Grinding Gear
Chinese.
Games claims they do everything possible to stop gold farmers, but I
Yeah,
can see
sure.
through their lies like rice grains.
sure.
GGG is a subsidiary of Tencent, which also owns Riot Games, and Tencent
Damn.
is owned by the Dalai Lama. Follow the paper trail, follow the money,
Motherfucker, the
and you'll
Dalai
find
Lama.
that GGG and the gold farmers are one and the same. Players will first buy currency from the Chinese orb cartel. The money is wired instantly by Western Union to the Dalai Lama, who pulls the kill switch and
that's
bans
how
the
he
player
gets his
after
funding
several
for
days.
Buddhist
During those days
temples.
of decadence and
That
luxury, the player
motherfucker.
will get a taste for power, which is then cut off. Much like an addict, he craves for more exalted orbs, starts a new account, and tries to turn a new leaf. But we all know how it
And the
ends.
cycle
But despite the
repeats.
strength of our enemies, we will trade on.
the
That's what
cycle
Path of
repeats.
Exile means to me. Or maybe it's my heritage speaking. I mean, we were expelled from over 200 MMOs after all.
209 MMOs, huh? And let's make it 210.
In all seriousness, Path of Exile is pretty amazing for a free-to-play product. If you like Diablo or any of its derivatives, you'll feel right at home with what I feel is a raw improvement over those old systems. However, keep
then
in
Path
mind
of
that
Exile
Path of
2
Exile
came out.
started development centuries ago, and it's not very well optimized for your hard drive. So, if
This
you
is
can
not
afford
true
it, get
anymore.
an SSD and put Path of Exile on it instead. It should run like butter. The PvP arena is also really fun. Stun-locking people never gets old. And remember to praise the all-holy Toucan daily on
Toucan.
Global Chat. A temporary chat then
Toucan
is a small
has
price to
arrived.
pay to see all men of the world united in worship.
Toucan
Very good game.
has
It gets a
arrived.
high score. The score is arbitrary. As always, more
It's a
content
yes.
to come, so stay
The
tuned.
high score is
a warm
yes.
thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild who have been generously funding
you
and
too.
bankrolling these videos. This one is free though. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one.
You too, Seth. So bade, so base. The best free-to-play Chinese gold farming sim of our time. It gets a high score. The score is arbitrary. Most honest gaming journalism I've ever borne witness to. This is why I trust Seth and his reviews over actual mainstream gaming outlets. Ooh. Is your friend who missed the exit of Act 3 a gaming journalist? As someone who lives in New Zealand, calling us a colony of inland China was strangely accurate. Yep, that's especially true now. The rest of it is 50-50. No koalas, but plenty of meth heads. All money is donated from the Merchants Guild is used to fund the diamond mines in the Congo. Remember, folks, donating to Seth is directly funding a child soldier's paycheck somewhere in Africa, and that's a good thing. That's right. It goes to De Beers. Professional vegan here. What kind of shrimp only loses 3 characters a week? My body is so loaded with soy and hardcorium that I can lose 3 characters a day. Path of Exile 2 review when? Exactly. Yeah, when? Yeah, when? My experience with Path of Exile was my coworker asking if I played Path of Exile in a desperate attempt to find something in common with me. Looking at this 7 fucking years later. Yeah, this aged poorly. I think they finally optimized Path of Exile 1 only to be freaking kicked in the dick with Path of Exile 2. Yep, still waiting for it to go free to play. Someday. Excuse me. I think I could do one more before break. I could probably do one more before break. Actually, I think I might take my break right now. Nah. No. Arcanum. Let's do double dose. Let's double dose on the Seth.
Hey people, Seth here. Today,
Seth.
I'll be covering an older CRPG, which still has its own faithful cult following.
Wait, hold on a sec. Did I actually do this? Did I actually do Arcanum? Did I actually do Arcanum? Did I actually do Arcanum? Actually, I'm feeling a little drowsy and I need to caffeinate fairly soon. Oh, I didn't. Apparently, I didn't do Arcanum. Oh, wow. I didn't realize, but, Sandbox finally has a release date. I guess I'll have to do that. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I really want to talk about. Yeah, I'm actually kind of dozing off, nodding off a bit, so I'm gonna take a break and get some coffee. Be right back. Hi, I'm back. Don't call me Pookie, I'm gangster. Anyways, yeah, sorry for the long wait. I've been drinking my coffee so I can wake up. Or at the very least, just to shake off enough sleep. Or at the very least, just shake off enough sleep to not... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There is it. Where is it? There it is. Okay. I want to learn about chimps. You like monkeys, right, chat? Because you should. Chimps are funny. Oh, bingo. Go on Twitter for that. I gotta redo that because I did the thing. Oh yeah, that's another. That's more stuff I gotta put on the bingo sheet. The inevitable bingo sheet. +minute BRB. Give me a bit. Give me a sec. I know there's a lot of waiting. All right. You guys like monkeys, right? Go on Twitter for that. For monkeys. It's funny. These are true stories,
hey
not
kids,
fake.
so we all know that, as far as living things go, humans win, not even a contest. But it turns out, if you hop to the next genome over and look real carefully, you can actually see a basic version of a lot of the stuff that makes us so great.
Wow,
here's some stories about what
amazing.
chimpanzees can get down to in the right context. Talking about chimp tails. Now, North Korea's Pyongyang Central Zoo has a colorful history. From its humble beginnings as literally just 50 badgers in a fence, to the parrot they taught to recite poetry praising Kim Il-sung, to being the only place in Pyongyang where you can look at a dog legally. It seems the only thing that's remained constant throughout this zoo's life is that it's fucking depressing. Fortunately, both workers and animals alike found ways to cope, one of which is smoking. Azalea the chimp is currently 13 years old and is one of the shining stars of Pyongyang Zoo, purely for her ability to burn through over a pack a day. Now, I like a good old-fashioned smoking chimp as much as the next guy, but whereas most zookeepers would probably try to talk her out of something so unhealthy, the North Korean ones actually gave her supplies, just like, feeling trapped, welcome to the club, pal. Her skills are actually pretty impressive. Not only can she use a lighter, but in a pinch, she also knows that old schoolyard trick of lighting one ciggy with the other. Just a shame that her mind wasn't put towards something a little more healthy or productive. Nah, you know what? That's pretty dope, actually. I'm happy with that.
Nah, you gotta respect the chimp smoking. Although a slender cigarette like that is whatever. But if you give her a cigar, on the other hand, now we're talking.
Flashback to 1954. A chimp named Congo was born in the London Zoo. Little did anybody know,
Someone had to
this
show
ape
her to
was
do
a
it
prodigy.
first.
Out of curiosity, one of his zookeepers, named Desmond Morris, decided to give Congo a pencil and a piece of cardboard to see what he'd do. Almost immediately, he started drawing some rudimentary
It's the coolest. It's the coolest.
lines and shapes. Morris was like, whoa, and decided to let him try painting on for size. And what he saw was incredible. Congo created these beautiful renderings with a blend of realism and self-expression that would make even the great masters stare in awe. Nah, just fucking with you, they're garbage. But for a non-human, there's still something to be appreciated here. Congo had at least a very basic sense of composition. Like, you can see there's some balance to the images. Matter of fact, when his handler would make shapes on one side of the page, Congo would deliberately mark up the other side to maintain some kind of symmetry. He also had an artist's sense of self-entitlement, because whenever his owner tried to take away a picture before Congo thought it was finished, he'd literally go apeshit, all throwing a fit and screaming until he gave it back. But hey, painting done by a chimp. You know who likes pointless novelties like that? The incredibly rich. In 2005, 3 of Congo's paintings were up for auction next to works by 2 obscure little artists known as Andy Warhol and Pierre-Auguste Renoir.
Wow. And look at that Renoir. Look, it's a monkey. It looks like a monkey too.
And while the 2 actual artist pieces went completely unsold, these 3 beauties got picked up for the scant price of over $25,000 US.
Whoa.
And the guy was like,
totally
wow,
not
I
a
felt
money
something
laundering
for a second
scheme.
There. I really like the watermark on this, by the way. Like, this is my painting done by a chimp. Anyway, next we have this beast called Washo. Washo was the first non-human creature to learn to communicate through sign language. That's right, eat shit, Coco. Prior experiments in chimp communication had attempted to teach him some basic spoken language, but after realizing that chimps are physically incapable of making most of the noises we do, they decided signing would be the better option. Washo was raised in an environment similar to what a human child would experience, complete with toys, clothes, chores, and even being allowed to sit.
Wait a minute, didn't I watch this already? Didn't I watch this? I think I did. I did watch this already. I did! What am I doing? I'm dumb. Oh my god. This is why I keep the little thing. Oh my god. Whoops. I should have known. I should have known. I should have known. All right, let's instead learn about exotic animals in Rome. Can I take a 4-minute video and stretch it to 8 minutes? I wonder. I bet I can. Betcha I can.
Hey kids, I was inspired to make this video while doing research on the ancient medicine.
Oh wow, this is an old one.
He would often do experiments on animals in order to learn more about the body, his favorite of which was the Barbary ape, due to its anatomical similarity to humans. Now when I say experiments, I don't mean
humans
push a button and get a peanut type things. I'm talking like Josef Mengele meets the plague dogs. He'd clamp their pee-tubes shut just to watch their kidneys swell, cut their spinal cords in different places to see what went limp and what didn't, and squeeze their brains and make them go unconscious, to name a few. My initial reaction was, hey, that's neat. But then, after some thought, I was like, whoa, hold the phone. In 200 AD, you couldn't get a doorknob even. Yet, if you had the right resources, you could order a goddamn monkey.
A fucking monkey. If you had the right connections, if you knew the right people, you could literally buy a fucking monkey. Don't let this ignore don't let the fall of the Roman Empire let you ignore the fact that you can buy a fucking monkey.
Many monkeys, in fact.
Many
By the
monkeys.
barrelful, presumably.
Barrel
Alternatively, if you were born in
monkeys.
the right place, you could be the monkey poacher, making a living wrestling up some
monkey
primates with nothing more
poaching.
than a net, a pokey thing, a hole in the ground, and a whole lot of ambition. So I got
Heck
to
yeah.
thinking, what other kind of animals did ancient Rome have access to?
Yeah,
Apparently,
which
basically
ones?
everything that lived in this part of the map. They were particularly fond
Nice.
of elephants, and it's easy to see why.
Address
sure,
me.
elephants aren't that big of a deal to the average person today, right?
I mean,
You've
they
been
are
seeing
pretty
pictures
big.
of them since you were 2, big whoop. But imagine if you
Big
were a
whoop.
20-year-old man who had never seen an elephant in your life. The closest thing you've ever witnessed is like horses, maybe some deer now and then. You get drafted, you
Yeah.
go out to battle, you're a little scared, but you've been trained well, you're ready.
Yeah,
then,
sure.
over
And
the
then-
horizon, you see 20 house-sized behemoths with giant
Holy
tentacles sticking out of their
shit.
faces, horns longer than your body sticking out of their mouths, all screaming their weird trumpety scream, making your whole body vibrate
Holy
like Mars
shit! I would shit myself instantly.
Self is shitting
I
on
would-
your very
I would go
existence.
crinkly
so
in my
naturally, Rome loved to
diaper,
show these things
in my
off
Roman
all the time, just as a display
soldier
of power.
diaper.
Like, imagine if you were going to a speech in DC and Trump rolls up with a pack of dragons. You'd listen to every word he said. He's
What is with those dragons? Why are they so seductive? Why are they so shapely? Oh my god. What the hell? Those are some, you could probably say those are some bad dragons.
got fucking dragons. That's what it was like seeing the emperor parade around with elephants back in the day. Of course, that wasn't the only use they had for imported animals. When they weren't being shown off in menageries, many of the exotic beasts brought to Rome were used in shows called venatios, which were basically like
Venatios?
modern day bullfights, only instead of
Ooh,
bulls,
the
you had
bull.
whatever crazy critters the state could find. Lions, crocodiles, gazelles, whatever. Around 55
Whatever.
BC,
Oh,
Roman
dear.
statesman Pompey the Great decided to
Pompey
organize one
the
such
Great.
event, the feature creature of which was, you guessed it, an elephant. Unfortunately,
An elephant?
Pompey forgot a crucial Barnum and Bailey trade secret. See,
What is
you're
it?
supposed to break the elephant's spirit before the show, not during. So the boys get to
Uh-oh.
poking, and the thing starts freaking out, just screaming
Uh-oh.
and crying, even gesturing
Uh-oh.
towards the audience like it was begging for mercy. Now, the crowd at this kind of event was mainly composed of dirty, bloodthirsty peasants, and even they were like, holy shit, this is messed up. I came here for a nice, family-friendly disemboweling or two, but this, just deplorable.
Yeah, even the bloodthirsty masses watching their breads, eating their breads, watching their circuses, even they have standards. Also, yeah, this is as you know, circuses used to be gladiators. Gladiators used to be the proverbial clowns, the circus clowns. The proverbial circus clowns. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Then they all start crying, and the whole thing just ends up being a huge mess. Anyway, these types
Uh-oh.
of spectacles became larger and larger as time went on. It's said that Emperor Trajan once held a venatio lasting 120 days, during which some
Whoa.
11,000 animals were killed. They also got pretty
Holy
elaborate. A lot
smokes.
of creativity went into keeping things fresh for the crowd. In
Not nice. Look at that. Let's look at that demographic. I mean, this infographic. Okay, so the elephant and the chicken. The chicken lays the egg, and then the egg balances the egg on the trunk, and he eats it. The egg will hatch in its stomach. The egg, the elephant will poop out the chicken, and then the hippo, and then enter the hippo. The hippo then eats the chicken, and then lays a hippo egg, and then a baby elephant comes out of that shitty chicken, the hippo chicken, and then you just kill everyone with the swords. Excellent, fantastic, amazing.
In 203
Make it an
AD,
indie
they
game.
had a model of a crashed ship built inside the arena, and an assortment
Whoa.
of 400 animals were set loose from the wreckage.
Holy shit!
and
It's
then killed.
Noah's
That's what we
Ark.
should do for the next Super Bowl halftime show, honestly. Just pack every
Yeah.
team's mascot into a decommissioned submarine. Then, when they all run out, we have the troops gun them down while the national anthem plays in the background. Anyway, the
Hell
ingenuity
yeah.
of the people organizing these events really knew no
Awesome.
bounds. One time they tied together a bear and a bull just to see what they'd do. Unfortunately, all that happened was the stock market crashed. Also, fun fact...
That's kind of I don't get it. I don't into stocks. I don't get the joke.
One Emperor Commodus is credited with the invention of a unique crescent-shaped arrow designed specifically to decapitate ostriches and watch them run around headless for a while. Seriously, they did that so often that they needed a device to make the job easier. Sometimes, just to shake things up, they'd have the animals kill the people, which was known as damnatio ad bestias. This form of execution was typically carried out using lions, but other beasts were used as well, including dogs, bears, and at one point even an eagle. Although the guy was crucified first, so it wasn't much of a fight. So, moral of the story, if you ever end up in ancient Rome and you want to see some animals, you'll still have access to almost all the same creatures we see in zoos today. And the only catch is that something has to die at the end. Till now.
As per usual. Someone's gonna die and it ain't gonna be me. Hell yeah. Sam at 3 a.m. hunched over and drawing himself in an elephant's truck.
Yes. Perfect. Amazing. Fantastic.
So when am I exactly gonna graduate from Salmonella Academy? I think recently, because you know, he kind of just stopped making these, which is a shame. Imagine going to a circus and the opening act is them killing an elephant slowly and painfully. Jesus Christ. Lions, crocodiles, gazelles, demon from the 7th layer of hell, dogs, you know, the usual. I can't tell if his name is purposefully a pun or if his parents are just cruel. I think a little bit of both. If only the Australians knew of these arrows. Yeah, I gotta remember the elephant. Yeah, Australia had an emu war and they lost. The only thing more mysterious than ancient Rome is this guy's upload schedule. This is so true. Fun fact, George Lucas reimagined the existential dread of seeing war elephants for the first time with the AT-AT walkers coming across the snow of Hoth. That scene is a direct reference to Hannibal Barca coming down out of the Alps to attack Rome. Further fun fact, the number of walkers each even represents the Carthaginian attack in numbers. There were only 3 or 4 elephants left to Hannibal by the time the Alps had been crossed. But that was still enough to be psychologically effective. Empire Strikes Back only shows 3 to 4 walkers, and their effect is very similar in the film. Wow. It's almost like George Lucas actually planned this shit out instead of, you know, he copied the Colosseum in the Attack of the Clones as well. That's true. Yeah, that too. You can say a lot of things about George Lucas, but one of those things is definitely well studied. One of those is well studied on war. Very cool. Very awesome. I miss George. Georgie Porgy. Bunch of World War II in Vietnam as well. Oh yeah, I think Endor, the Battle of Endor is just straight up Vietnam as well. Like, yeah, I don't know about Kyle Hill. He's informative, but I don't think he's that entertaining. Entertaining, yeah, nah. Informative, definitely. Absolutely. Bunch of World War II in Vietnam. Yeah. I mean, some of the blasters are straight up replicas of World War II weapons. Like the E11 is a heavily modified. I forgot what it's called. It's not a Sten, but it's the one before the Sten. It was the gun before the Sten was created. It was the one before the Sten. The Sterling, there you go. Yeah, the Sterling. It was a heavily modified Sterling. And of course, Han Solo's blaster is also a heavily modified Mauser. Which is pretty cool. Stormtroopers even had MG34. I think that was like the heavy blasters as well. Yeah, it's really cool. Some of the gun designs in OT are fantastic. So cool. So cool. Wait, let me check what my... Fell asleep? Nah, it's fine. Good morning. Good morning, Weird. Welcome. I'm here. I'm glad you're there. I feel like an old head talking about the... I feel like kind of an old head saying that. I'm here. I'm glad you're there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's the tagline for Saint Giga. It's 6:30. I'm almost 30. This is true. Don't remind me of my immortality. Yeah. Also, fun fact, fun little thing to do. Listen to Saint Giga Height of Sound when you go to sleep. It's some really good sleep white noise tunes. If you don't know what Saint Giga Tide of Sound is, oh, happy birthday, Weird. Omedeto. Tanjobi omedeto. Happy birthday. Hope you have a good one today. 36. Wowee. 36. Anyways, let's watch a Magic Mush. Another one. Another mush. But which one do I want? E3? Amazing Atheist? Weird Wikis? It's really all there is, really. 32. We're all unks! My chat's full of unks, and I'm the youngest of the unks. I'm almost unk. I'm almost OG-san. Oh, geez, I'm almost an OG-san. You know what? I did say I was going to do Arcanum. I'm going to do Arcanum. Arcanum. Let's do Arcanum. I really want to play this game eventually.
Hey people, Seth here. Today, I'll be covering an older CRPG which still has its own faithful cult following.
Whoa.
A game where you can greatly expand on your English lexicon, promote
Classic
Marxism
Troika
among the
games.
impoverished working class orc, and of course, have
orcs.
cheap carnal relations with sheep. Arcanum
Whoa.
of Steamworks and Magic of...
What are you? You can roleplay as a Welshman in this game. Awesome. Ah, yes, Troika Games, rest in peace. Same guys that made Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines and some other games that I'm not aware of.
Obscura. This episode is brought to you by RPG Codex and Bad Dragon. Both great gaming websites, thoroughly recommended. Arcanum takes place in the world of Arcanum. In this fantasy setting, the civilized world is undergoing an industrial revolution, which parallels closely to the industrialization that took place in the 18th century, complete with orc sweatshops, child labor, and lung cancer for everyone. What a great time to
delicious.
be alive, provided you're not a working
carcinogenic.
class peon with a limited life expectancy. However, there's a problem. This world has magic, and magic doesn't exactly
Ghetto
coexist
magic.
well with technology. Technology, in Arcanum, is just a broad term for utilization of the natural sciences to do stuff, while magic relies on the violation of these natural principles. Put them together in a system, and everything fucks up. Toss
Magic
a magical
is
artifact
demonic.
too close to a steam engine, you'll loosen and displace the gears, make the engine run too fast, or make the fuel chamber overpressurize and explode. So, mixing the two is generally a bad idea. And while a lot of people benefit from the increase in tech, some are extremely salty about it. Spells and
damn
shit don't work
elves.
near industrial cities. Healing and resurrecting people by waving your hands no longer does anything.
fancy
You instead
schmancy,
have to rely
ew.
on barbaric practices like medicine and surgery. Maybe they'll even
medicine
start
and
demanding you to be a
surgery.
licensed professional, whatever that means. Back in
Licenses,
Uganda, you could
yucky.
freely practice sorcery and trepanning with just an associate's degree
Yucky.
in witchcraft. Everything about this changing world comes together over the course of a story, in which you
get
can play a
mulched.
single, fully customized
Mulched.
character. There's a huge variety of options for designing your own character, which are determined by race. In no particular order, these are humans, proud,
Nice.
noble, and forward-thinking when it comes to
Humans.
tech. Elves, proud, noble, but regressive Luddites that hate tech. They live in the forests and chew on bamboo. Dwarves,
elves.
similar to elves, just shorter
Dwarves.
with fatter cocks. Half-elves,
You'd think that dwarves would be more technologically inclined. I still remember that post where elves are like, or wood elves or high elves are like, ah, yes, the beauty and simplicity of nature. But then human and elves, and it's just like the Coca-Cola like a burning contraption that's welded together with like scrap metal and a Coke can. It's a machine. It's a thingamabob. That is definitely how you describe. That is a good way to describe the fantasy races, the dichotomy of the fantasy races. There is a reason why humans and dwarves are alliance.
products of rape, half orcs, products of rape, half ogres, products of systemic rape, and of course, gnomes, the product.
The fucking gnomes. Gnomes. If you know gnomes. Is it a machine for pigs? Why did that get censored? Not even YouTube likes machine for pigs. Goddamn.
Of polygamy, incestuous breeding, and corporophilia. It is no exaggeration or hyperbole that all evils of the world are endorsed and committed by gnomes. A gnome feels no empathy nor remorse, no common humanity that separates us from simple beasts. The only love a gnome can feel, if you dare describe it so, is that for money. A gnome would sooner sell his own mother for a pouch of silvers than do a single good deed in his entire gaping hole of an existence.
What did they mean by this? Whatever did they mean by this? Also, I just learned that Troika Games was actually created or partially created by Tim Kaine, the original creator of Fallout. No wonder their games are so fucking good. No wonder their games are so good.
You also select your background and upbringing, which can range from being voluptuously lewd and beautiful to being born as a mentally stunted special needs child. The story lewd and beautiful to being born.
What is that? That's an awesome name. Dick Smash Turbo Fist.
Born as a mentally stunted special needs child. The story goes that you board the first Zeppelin ever made in this world, the IFS Zephyr, on its maiden voyage across the continent, which gets shot down by orcs flying fighter planes, who are later identified as brothers Jihad al-Nuri and Hussam al-Muradi. The orcs aren't very good at flying, so the attack turns into a suicide bombing, or as we refer to it in Arcanum, an isolated incident. Anyway, these orcs commit two isolated incidents incidents which result in the
Two
Zeppelin
of them?
exploding and killing everyone aboard.
Sure,
except you. You live. Then
just
a
jump.
gnome dying in the wreckage asks you to deliver a ring back to its rightful
ring?
owner, with your only clue
Oh.
being the manufacturing signature of the company that made it. This sets off a chain of events and an unfolding conspiracy against not only the modernized world, but the entire living world itself. The first time I played this game many years back, I had no idea what I was doing, but it turned out I knew exactly what I was doing. Arcanum is one of the rare games out there where playing a pure charisma build is not only viable,
Hell
it's optimal.
yeah.
With every 3
Chad.
points of charisma, your character
Become
can
the
recruit an
Chad.
additional NPC into the
Become
party. By endgame,
clavicular.
I did not have
Yeah, as a recording, I know I should not concern myself with the lives and plights of e-celebs, but apparently Clavicular OD'd and had a bit of a drug-induced seizure as a recording. So hope he gets better. Even though he is kind of a kick shitter, it's kind of in bad form to wish death upon someone. Here's hoping to a speedy recovery. He may have recovered by the time you watch this, but who knows?
a party. I had a fucking army, and because my charisma was so high,
yeah.
I pretty much talked my way out of any encounter.
The
So I
classic
got to the end of the
Fallout
game,
thing.
met the final antagonist, and I was ready to beat him with my squad of goons. Except that didn't happen. In the end,
Oh, really?
you and the final antagonist talk it out. He explains his philosophy that he views life as unnatural and that the very act of living and existence is in and of itself suffering, that he'd rather eliminate it out of mercy to prevent further suffering from being born into this
nihilist.
world. You then make the argument that life and existence does have
Nihilist,
merit, that
eh?
his personal experience and confinement have poisoned his worldview and made him jaded. And remarkably, he agrees, but he also states that his mind is so warped with hatred that you can't just leave him alive. So you offer him an alternative: voluntary suicide. And he takes it. Arcanum, the game where you can convince the final antagonist to kill himself out of love for the world he hates.
So just Owlman. That's still base though. You're jaded and depressed, and you think life is meaningless. Hey, why don't you fucking kill yourself, huh? Just kill yourself. Oh, if you don't think life matters, just fucking kill yourself. Let everyone live their life. Just kill yourself. That's how you deal with a nihilist. Just tell him to kill himself. And if they don't comply, well, okay, then fine. I'll kill you myself, and they'll still be like, please don't kill me! Please don't kill me! No, please don't kill me! I was just don't let me die, please! And then there you go. That's how you fix that's the only morally correct way to deal with a nihilist. It's just threaten their life.
There's very few other RPGs with
Threaten
a
their
plot as
life.
strong as Arcanum's, and it changes depending on your character. This time around, I played an autistic dwarf. While previously
Dwarves?
everyone was quite friendly to me as a well-spoken
Crocodile
human, most
Dundee.
townspeople now tell me that manlets aren't welcome in these parts.
Oh,
Even renting a bed
dwarf
was
hate.
suddenly more expensive, as the innkeeper remarks that he'll probably have to spend more time cleaning out the lice and dingleberries left by my
Ugh.
filthy, unshaven body. A good example of just
Take
how
a
intricate
bath,
Arcanum's
then,
dialogue can
smelly.
be is booking a ticket for the railways. It's a three-step process of declaring whether or not you have magical artifacts, practice wizardry, or possess elementals in your company that could dangerously
have
accelerate
these
and
elementals
derail the
running
steam
around.
locomotive. If you're clean of a supernatural, you get to ride first class, close to the machinery,
first
while
class.
wizards, to put it bluntly, ride the back of a bus for
Get in the
everyone's
back of
safety.
the bus
And if you lie about it,
for
the
everyone's
conductor will find
safety.
out, and your paid tickets will be null and void. The gameplay
No
itself, though,
animals.
a mixed bag. Combat's not exactly thrilling.
Look
They
at him
also
walking.
introduced critical failure as a
Wow,
fun gameplay
critical
mechanic,
failures.
just in case you were planning to accidentally decapitate yourself with your own elephant gun.
Imagine if you have jinxed You permanently have jinxed. Yep, this is definitely a Tim Kaine game.
You can choose between real-time and turn-based combat. Depending on which of those you can better exploit. Casting spells
Definitely
in real time is based on how fast you can click the mouse. Ranged attacks also become insanely fucking fast in real time. But this is more lethal to you than your adversaries. If you meet an enemy archer later in the game, he can kill your entire party before you even see him. There's also enemies out there that damage your weapons when you hit them, but damage your armor when they hit you. Thanks, Troika. For this reason, the best companion in the game is a stray dog, which you find after saving it from being kicked to death by a gnome. And
it's always the fucking gnomes, man. It's always those goddamn gnomes. Damn gnomes.
By saving, I mean gutting the gnome like a fish. The authorities won't even care. They might even thank you for making the streets safer at night.
Man, if only that could work in real life. If only that could work in real life.
Learned that a dog's teeth
Unfortunately,
can somehow survive
the
biting
gnomes
rocks and crystals, while the
police.
highest quality steel gets shattered from smacking windows and furniture. The AI in this game is fantastic. NPCs can't establish causality between events. Amazingly, NPCs will be more alarmed to see you prowling around than hearing a set of dynamite charges detonating their bedroom. Sneaking is completely broken. Even with mastery, you can be spotted miles away. So, if you want to break into someone's house, a safer way to do it is break their windows while they're not looking with a stealthy weapon such as a shotgun, and then wait for them to sleep. NPCs are very deep sleepers.
My wife and son are dead. Time to get cozy.
And they don't give a shit how much noise you're making. Clunking around in full plate mail, looting all of their belongings, stealing from them is completely risk-free. You can even use their own gold to finance purchases from their own store. The game has a very interesting color palette of gray and brown, and sometimes green if you're lucky enough to be in a forest. The UI is also gray and brown.
By the way, Gen 7 was the king of it was the king of brown and earth tone. Dude, look at PCs. Come on now.
It's not ugly by any means. I'm just saying that if Arcanum was a woman, it would be a very plain, dog-faced woman. But you're already married to her, so you learn to accept it and move on.
Even the
it doesn't
music
help that
reflects
Arcanum soundtrack is quite moody and melancholic. If I could describe it, it would be like the mental orchestra that plays inside a child worker's head as he attempts to carefully dislodge cotton from running machines, hoping and praying that his hand doesn't get amputated while reaching between the spinning gears. So usually I just turn off the music and switch it with something more soothing from another RPG.
Yes, the Evergrace soundtrack. I love that one.
Through the world map
I love
is
that
done
one
by
so
plotting
much.
waypoints and works
I need to
exactly
play Evergrace
the same
sometime.
as Fallout 1 and 2. Luckily,
arguably one of by the way, did I mention this game was possibly made by Tim Kaine, directed by Tim Kaine? But yeah, Evergrace, one of FromSoft's greatest pre-Souls games, from what I've heard.
There's no urgency to meeting your objectives, so you don't have to worry about racing across the map to finish the main quest. You're very free to travel and encounter quests in any order. Arcanum also lets you plot waypoints inside of the map as well, which is really handy to help you navigate huge cities and reduce the pain of backtracking. You could also just be a mage and learn how to teleport. There's a lot of schools of magic.
Yeah,
and
why even take the trains when you can just teleport?
And that's because the necromancy school exists. At level 1, it lets you cast harm, and harm is the strongest spell in the game, but it will fuck up your index finger real fast. Power comes at a price. More interestingly, you could also get Conjure Spirit from the same tree. What if I told you someone decided it was a great idea to write a fuck ton of dialogue around a single spell? Because that's exactly what they did. Conjure Spirit lets you summon the souls of minor and major plot characters as long as you can find their body, and then you can interrogate them for clues, advice, and information that normally you'd never get. I talk a bunch about magic. What about technology? Well, with technology, you get schematics that you can craft and manufacture if you've got the scientific aptitude. And that's about it. You can make anything from Molotovs, dynamite, cocaine, flamethrowers, tranquilizer darts, to even mechanized arachnids. There's a lot of schematics to purchase and obtain, and the crafting system is a lot of fun. It's always spider droids. Some of the components are extremely rare and only spawn about 10% of the time at inventor shops, making it very very difficult to build an army of steam-powered robots, but if you somehow do figure it out, tell me, because they don't count to your party limit, so they're potentially infinite. Key bindings can't be remapped, and there's a lot of them, so please check the manual to see all the keys. Speaking of a manual, the Arcanum game manual is fantastic, and probably one of the best I've ever read. The whole thing is about 180 pages explaining you the lore, the setting, and the races of this world, and illustrating the dilemma between magic and technology. It's even got a fucking banana bread recipe in there at the end. I tried it. It was pretty good. So for once, please read the manual. It's great. My only word of warning, this game can't run on modern systems, so if you install the good old games copy, you'll have to run it using safe mode. Final score.
I think they changed that.
Arcanum. It's a great game. Very dated by modern standards, but the writing, the plot, and the dialogue keep it fresh. Buy it, play it. It's super cheap on sale, and you'll easily sink several dozen hours into it. And remember, a good gnome is a dead gnome.
Based. Mega base. This game is a good candidate for a remake. Go fuck yourself. Nope. No, just change up the engine a little so it actually runs on modern systems. Boom. That's all you need to do. Don't fuck with the art style. Don't fuck with everything else. Just widescreen support and let it run on modern systems. That's all you need. Just don't fuck with anything else. Don't fuck with anything else. Just remaster is good enough, but a full rebuild's in order. Let's hope that someone involved with Troika Games still has the source code lying around somewhere. Half ogres, products of systemic rape, shows a gnome. What did they mean by this? In no particular order, proceeds to list the races in a very particular order. It wasn't until Mandalore's video on Arcanum that I realized that Seth's unbridled bigotry towards gnomes in Arcanum is absolutely justified. I thought Seth was joking about gnomes and half ogres. After Mandalore's video, I see he was just trying to warn us. Yeah. My friend's favorite part of the game was mind controlling bears or wolves, moving them into an NPC's house, mage locking the doors closed, then restoring the animal's free will. This is neither murder or otherwise illegal. That's fucking awesome. That's awesome. Oh, here's another great video on Arcanum by Warlocracy, which I will not watch because it's an hour. Me before playing Arcanum. Why does Seth hate gnomes so much? Surely they can't all be bad. Me after playing Arcanum. Genociding all gnomes would be completely justifiable. And for no reason, on one day, for no reason at all. Before playing Arcanum, Seth is just memeing about against the gnomes. Very funny, but kind of extreme. After playing Arcanum, the most tragic part of this game is that there is a canonical peaceful afterlife and the knowledge that that dead gnomes are not suffering in the darkest pits of hell. They should be in Sheol boiling. They should be in the deepest pit of Sheol, boiling, just drowning in boiling shit forever. The gnome cries out in pain. The gnome cries out in pain as he strikes you. Gnomes. Congenital brain damage, -2 intelligence. But stunningly gorgeous woman, -4 intelligence. What did Troika Games mean by this? Picks up monkey's paw in Arcanum. I wish for all gnomes to go to the void no matter what. I wish for all gnomes in the afterlife to go to the void immediately. I wish all gnomes a constant state of agony until they die. Fucking awesome. Fucking awesome. Moral of the story, all races are equal. Gnomes, however, are less equal than others. And the only good gnome is a dead gnome. Very based, very epic. Thank you, Tim Kaine. He really is the greatest man alive. All right, I'm actually gonna have to take another break because I need to go potty. I'll be right back. All right, I got one more in me. And it has to be less than either 30 minutes or less because I need to do my errands pretty quickly. So, fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do 35 minutes. That'll be plenty of time. Let's reminisce about E3. Let us reminisce about...
On September 7th, 2023, it was announced Reed Pop, the current organizer of E3, had parted ways and will no longer organize the event. This was after a slew of companies had announced they were not attending E3 this year, or the next, and since there were no companies, there was no reason for E3. And so, E3 2023 was cancelled, and there won't be one until 2025, if that even happens.
I come from the future, and we're... Yep, E3 is dead. It's
but whether
gone forever.
It does happen or not
Goodbye.
Doesn't matter, because in the end, the E3 as we knew it is gone. Since 1995, E3 has been one of the biggest events.
Wait, who was the guy from Crysis 2 again? Was it Prophet or was it Nomad? I think it was Nomad. Right? Oh, it was Prophet. Nomad's the one from the first and the third game. Gotcha.
Is gone.
All right, thank you.
Since 1995,
I need to play
E3
Crysis.
has been one of the biggest events for the
just
gaming
in general.
industry to show off their new stuff. Game reveals, console reveals, all sorts of reveals.
Even though Crysis 1, even though Crysis 1 was literally just Far Cry, but like it's just turbo Far Cry. You could throw a frog in the moon. You could do a lot. Oh, Alcatraz. There's like 3 guys. There's 3 guys. There's Prophet, there's Alcatraz, and then there's Nomad, and then Nomad. Nomad, I think, is the first. Yeah, he was the first guy in the Crysis. And then there's Prophet. Wait. Oh, never mind. Prophet and Nomad are from the same unit. Yeah, talking about E3. No, let's just derail the entire subject and talk about Crysis. Yeah, Prophet and Nomad are 2 different guys, but they were in the same unit. And then there was Alcatraz. It was in the second one. Yeah, I kind of like Crysis, even though Crysis is basically just Far Cry Super Turbo, Super Far Cry Turbo, the new challengers.
Would go out of their way to get
Anyways,
into the
I'm getting
event
ahead
to
of
be a part
myself.
the experience. So
Well,
if you're
remember
even
Booth
remotely
Babes?
interested in
I
video
remember.
games, this is an event you don't want to miss. Well,
Heck
that used to be the case. And now, E3 is seen as completely pointless these days. Ever since Nintendo started
yep.
their Nintendo Direct format,
Yep,
now
Nintendo Directs
every
killed
single
it.
company has followed in their footsteps, and they have their very own Nintendo Directs for people to tune into. Because in the end, that's all people really want. The games. Nobody
where are
was
the video
watching
games?
E3 or going to E3 for
Where are the video
aesthetics.
games?
They were there for the games. Once the games left,
The
so did the
games!
audience. And so now that every company's doing their own Diet Coke Nintendo Direct, it makes us all finally realize.
More like Diet RC
E3 kind
Cola.
of sucked, didn't it? I mean,
Yeah, a
besides
little.
the game reveals and the sense of community.
Yeah, a
really,
bit.
what did E3 actually have? The more you look
Demos?
back, the only thing you can remember is all the times the company would screw up when presenting their stuff at E3. You can find compilations of
There
bad
you go,
E3
the
moments
cringe.
all over
That's
YouTube.
what E3 is for. Hello? Audio?
I guess you may see it later.
Because of the fact E3 as we know it is probably a goner, sure hope this video ages well, I thought it'd be fun to go over some of the biggest screw-ups at E3 and what
is that Mark from Classic Game Room?
they're still talked about to this day. Welcome to
Truxton.
I'd say I was speechless, but I have one more thing to announce.
What?
Coming this year.
What?
Peggle 2!
Oh my god, Peggle 2! Hell yeah! Oh my god, Peggle 2 nearly killed me. Yeah, thanks. Nobody even knows what Peggle 2 is actually a thing.
In
Ah,
the late
yes,
90s
the
and early
classic.
2000s, Sony and PlayStation were king. They were the talk of the town and had the highest user base and market share of the entire
Absolutely.
gaming industry.
PS2, the greatest
PlayStation 2
console
is
of
still
all
the highest
time.
selling game system of all time as of this
The
video's
greatest
release.
console
In the
of all
eyes
time.
of many, they were seen as the pinnacle of gaming quality.
Yeah, there is still a debate whether or not PS2 or SNES is better. Ultimately, I think PS2 is better. I could elaborate more, but we have a video to watch.
However, only a few years into the PS2's life, a monkey wrench was thrown into their success. That being Microsoft releasing the Xbox 360 in 2005. The 360
Motherfucker.
was seen as the next-gen gaming system. It blew everything
Hell
the competition
yeah.
was doing out of the water.
Look at
yes, Sony
that.
had the market share, but it was very clear Microsoft was showing us what the next step in gaming would look like. So Sony had to
Very
find some way
cool.
to top them. In E3 2005, they showed off a prototype of the PS3, tech demos, but nothing concrete.
Plastic Duck
We didn't really have a
Simulator.
true grasp of what the system was going to be. But that would be fixed later, and that later
tech
was
demo
E3
for-
2006.
This is what the start of all the troubles, by the way. The start of all the troubles. This is just supposed to be a tech demo, and they're like, "Where's the fucking FF7 remake?" And now here we are.
E3 2006. They finally announced what the final product would be like, where they screwed it up in every way they possibly could. The Sony conference
Really?
at E3 2006 was a complete disaster. This was meant to hype people up for the PS3 and everything it had to offer, but it had the opposite effect. This conference was mocked and shot on for how bad it was.
When I play games, I
the
become a
conference
monkey.
starts off with Sony gloating about
Don't
how
we
much
all?
the PS2 and PSP have sold.
Yeah.
Well, they were at the peak around that time, so I can't really blame them. But then the
True,
cockiness
so
starts
true.
to get to their head, and the entire conference goes downhill right after this. They, of course, tell you about the PS3's features and the fact it's powered by the Cell processor, blah, blah, blah.
The fucking Cell processor, jeez. Yeah, pull up Gabe Newell quote here. The Cell processor fucking sucks so badly that the PS3 port of Orange Box suffered.
The system is releasing in November of that year. Yeah, that's great and all. Why don't we get to the games?
Where are the video games?
The first game they show off is the most boring and lifeless Gran Turismo game I've ever seen.
Okay, Gran
Then
Turismo.
they show off a PS3i game.
Cool, I guess.
Remember that? The PS3i? No? Okay.
Oh, it's
then
like an
Cash
iToy,
shows us
but
how
not as good.
enthusiastic he is about Ridge Racer on the PSP.
It's Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer.
Remember that one?
They then show
Ridge
the PlayStation Network store,
Racer.
and then
I do gotta say though, I remember Ridge Racer, to be honest. I remember it so much that I still curse Bamco for never making a new Ridge Racer. I had a PS3 and you could say Xbox 360 is 100 times the better. So true. That's the problem with PS3 is that if it's a multi-plat game, it's usually better on Xbox. It's usually better on Xbox, but yeah. And also, I'm going to say Type 4, Ridge Racer Type 4, best aesthetics. Best aesthetics. The aesthetics in Ridge Racer Type 4 were so good, even Ace Combat borrowed it and used it in Electrosphere. Also, yeah, Warhawk.
It's time.
Holy shit, a video game!
About this entire conference.
Holy shit, a video game!
History, the stages of the game will also be
actual
based on
Japanese history, by the way.
Actually took place in
These actually happened.
Let's hear it. Please, please, come on. Show it.
Wait for it.
Come on, say it, say it, say it, say it!
So here's this giant enemy crab.
Yes! Okay, I legit just want to watch this conference just for that. The rest of the conference it's uneventful and boring. They show off a couple more game trailers for stuff
show
like
more
Uncharted and Metal Gear
games.
Solid 4, but those aren't enough to save.
Wow, insane. Also, bye, weird. I hope you have a good, happy birthday. I hope you eat food and get fat. Because it's your birthday after all.
Besides, this is supposed to be a game conference after all.
Yeah, games!
And all the games of the world.
Where are the
can't save what'll reach
games?
at
The
end of
games! Where are the video games?
PS3's price reveal.
In North America,
here we
the
go.
PlayStation 3 will be available at retail on November 17th, 2006. The 20-gigabyte PlayStation 3 will retail for $499 US and 549 Canadian dollars. And the 60-gigabyte PlayStation 3 for $599 US.
$599 US.
$599 US.
Time is a flat circle.
This was insane for a game console around the time.
Another
In terms of
Canada
inflation,
L.
This was a little over $900 back then.
Jesus
Almost
fucking Christ.
$1,000 for a game console.
And again, time is a fucking circle that is flat with no z-axis. Because this is how much the PS5 Pro with a disk drive cost. Actually, no, a little more expensive. Actually, no, even more so. And that's not even with a game. It cost that much because of the native Blu-ray player. That is true. 2006 early Blu-ray player, that's true.
Not only was the conference awful, but the price reveal was the final nail in the coffin. Nobody wanted to buy a PS3 after the mediocre game lineup.
$6,600.
And the worst part about it is, Sony had the balls to defend this.
6,000
dimes. People who didn't
dimes.
want to buy one at that price. They told people who couldn't afford a PS3 to get a second job. Don't want to buy a game console with no games? What are you, poor?
Why don't the poor people just buy more money?
You can tell the
Why don't
success
poor
of their
people just
previous
buy more
consoles got
money?
to their head, and now we're thinking their audience would buy anything no matter the case. Boy, were they in for a rude awakening. For those who are probably aware, the PS3 struggled for a few years on the market because of its awful price and the fact there was nothing to play on it.
The best game on the PS3 at the time was Talladega Nights Ballad of Ricky Bobby on Blu-ray. Oh, and also Superman 2, the special director's cut of Superman 64. Not everyone can be Timothy Dexter. Yeah, this was before Demon Souls and Metal Gear Solid MGS4. Like MGS4 wouldn't come out for another couple years or so, or a year.
It was losing to every other console on the market, even the PS2, which was still getting games.
Damn.
It took a full rebranding of the system and a price cut for it to finally start turning a profit.
Resistance as well.
Now, I'm not going to
sure.
say this E3 conference
He became
was the
rich
sole
by buying
reason it
more
did so
money.
poorly. But boy, it did not help in the slightest. It was a horrible reveal to a console that was supposed to keep their audience invested for the next few years. The whole thing was mocked.
PS3 has no
games. The giant enemy
games.
crab thing became a thing of pop culture. It's one thing to become a meme. It's another to become a meme and not even be a good product at the end of the day. Well, it did become a good product. It just took a couple of years. This conference is why first impressions are important, and a footnote to never screw up your console reveals.
$599.
Yeah, eventually, PS3 would eventually get games. Great games, in fact. Some of the best games of all time at Metal Gear Solid 4, Resistance, the Resistance series, Killzone 2 and 3, Demon Souls. The Ratchet and Clank future games, ignore that. Just so many great games, so many fantastic games would come out eventually, but man, it sure took a while before that was a fickle in their eyes. It sure took them a while. And also Magus. Don't forget Magus. Oh, and Infamous. Activision 2007
usually had the most boring E3 conferences. It's usually Call of Duty focused, bang bang shoot shoot, with maybe a nice little surprise here and there.
Wait, no,
in
I don't think they did
2007, though,
sports.
they decided to spice their E3 up with getting a C-list actor to host it, Jamie Kennedy.
Oh
What,
no!
You don't know who Jamie Kennedy is? The star of the hit sketch comedy show The Jamie Kennedy Experiment?
Wasn't he a Conehead?
His biggest role was in Scream. And then he must have done something to piss off his agent because it was nothing but horrible career moves going into the 2000s.
Oh no!
He was the lead star in the 2005 box office bomb,
The Mask.
Son of the Mask.
Oh,
yes, Jamie was the one
Son
who did this.
of the Mask. Have Boogie. Have Boogie. This is
this man to host an E3 conference.
Jamie from
This is the part where you sneeze.
From the start, looks like he's drunk off his ass or doped up on something.
We're at E3, and I just want to say this place is the only place that makes the guys at Comic-Con look like Ocean's 13.
Okay. Okay.
Video games,
he's
they've been...
he's fucking zooted off his balls.
Where are my jokes?
The great anti-vax crusader and moral consumer.
Let's welcome the developer of this game from Neversoft. Which
Neversoft, always
that the first
hard.
Name for Viagra? I don't.
That's kind of funny. That's pretty funny.
Thank you. It's getting around now. Yes.
Now, imagine this for the next hour. You can watch the first minute and tell how the rest of this will go.
Right, so it immerses
Oh
you
no!
in the
Just get to the shitty
lifestyle.
Call of
So
Duties
does that mean you have to play it
already.
high?
So he's trying. He really is.
Is
But
he though?
Man, is it just?
Is he though? Is he trying?
While he's introducing the games, different celebrities would also show up as well, like Tony Hawk and Slash. When they're being interviewed, you
Guilty
can tell
Gear.
they're uncomfortable with the stuff Jamie's
Guilty
saying
Gear.
to them.
Slash.
The way you grab your trick. It's,
yeah.
Grab your trick.
No, but for real, you know,
you
like
grab your trick. And then
I
grab your trick.
And then you
Oh yeah, remember Tony Hawk? Remember Tony Hawk?
And we hope one
I
day
remember
Jimmy, you
Tony
get to grab a
Hawk.
trick.
I like
Hey,
Tony
grab-
Hawk.
I grab chicks every Friday.
Everyone should
But-
like Tony Hawk.
I'm sorry. All right, look.
He also, at one point, says to give it up for Stan Lee when talking about Spider-Man.
Please give it up for Mr. Stan Lee. Yes.
Yeah, is Stan Lee in the audience with us?
But I don't see no Stan Lee. Maybe
Stan?
he fled early so he wouldn't be associated with this shit show. So you
Yeah, I
got a
wouldn't
possibly
either.
intoxicated comedian and some uncomfortable celebrities. But the worst part about it is, the games in this showcase aren't even that good either. Like, it could all be saved from a bad presenter if the games were worth something.
Yeah,
But they're-
where are the games? Where are the video games? At least they didn't stoop to it low enough to invite Kiss, mostly because Kiss will sell out for literally anything. Yeah, true.
not. You, of course, got your yearly Call of Duty
got
and Tony
your
Hawk,
CODs,
but
you
then
got
you got
your
the
Tony
B-movie
Hawks.
game. They're
The
giving a
B-movie
spotlight to a
game.
shovelware tie-in game. Okay, to be honest, that
Really
game isn't that
now?
bad, but it's not worthy of an E3 spotlight.
It's
Then
fine,
there's Enemy
but
Territory Quake Wars. Was that game good? I have no clue.
I thought it was pretty.
But then
I heard
there's
people
Spider-Man
like
Friend or
it.
Foe. Remember Spider-Man Friend or Foe? No, you don't. They finally end the conference with Guitar
Finally,
Hero
a good
3,
game,
which,
Guitar
well,
Hero 3.
It's Guitar Hero. But they brought Slash in to talk for a bit, and even he knew what he was getting into. He brought a cigarette into this shit. So yeah, not only does the presentation fall flat on
the
its
Patrick
face,
Warburton
but the things
infidelity
they're presenting
syndrome.
aren't even that good. This is a concoction from one of the worst E3 conferences, and people do consider it one. It appears on multiple top worst E3 moments of all time. But it's
the Kennedy
why did Jamie
nothing
do this
ever
if
bad
he
happens
clearly
to
knew
the
nothing about video
Kennedys?
games and probably got drunk before starting it?
I see some virgins in the audience.
Bro, you're Hollywood.
Virgins?
Shut the fuck up,
There's
dude.
so many virgins in here. Richard Branson is doing this event.
Yeah, he's
All right.
he's absolutely zooted.
That side got that joke.
Dude, shut the fuck up.
Well,
You're
back in
a C-list
2021,
celebrity at
Jamie on
best.
his podcast, because every celebrity needs a podcast these
Of course,
days,
they have a
reveals what had
podcast or a
happened and why
frickin'
things were the
book.
way they were with this conference. Jamie claims he wasn't drunk or on anything.
Yeah,
he was just tired.
sure.
Not sure if I believe that.
Giving off
People say I
Pokemon
was
Go
on
to the
drugs.
polls energy.
I don't do drugs.
So true.
Let's just get that out of the way.
Yeah, sure you don't, buddy.
Filmed for 2 days
Alcohol's a
straight.
drug.
Activision. Doing commercials. Yeah, I did Slash. It was Guitar Hero. Ozzy. I did all these short films. Tony Hawk. Like, all over Activision's Culver City Studios.
The next thing he reveals is he wasn't the original actor they picked for this. He
Really?
was a last-minute change because the original
Really?
actor opted out.
Who
the
was
original
it?
actor was supposedly B.J. Novak. You know,
Who?
Ryan from The Office. He didn't
Who?
even know this was for E3 and it was supposed
Does
to be
he
a big
sound
event.
drunk
It
now?
just seemed like some extra cash to him. He goes and watches some clips of it, and yeah, he realizes some of these are complete crap.
I just want to say this place is the only place that makes the guys at Comic-Con look like Ocean's 13.
That really did not go over very well.
Yeah, even he knows
I don't
it
get
was
it.
garbage. This
I don't
is
get
just
it.
a case of someone not knowing what they were getting into.
I didn't know that the video game community, which I do now, looks at video games as the Ark of the Covenant. And if someone's talking about a video game, it is the most important thing in the world. I get the job, and I just thought it was going to be an easy little fun thing. I didn't know it was going to be
Video games
so
are not all fun
looked
and
at.
games.
I was never supposed to host this.
After being in multiple box office bombs, can you blame the guy for taking the gig? Yes. But just think,
Yeah.
there's some alternative timeline where Ryan from The Office did this and not Jamie. Wonder what that could have been like.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
Yep.
In the late 2000s, Nintendo was on top of the
The
Wii. They had successfully
Wii?
marketed the console and made it a huge hit with both gamers and non-gamers. But it also had the
Heck
stigma
yeah.
of being a console
Stigma.
just for the casual
Stigma.
audience. There was nothing that could really break that stigma because there
Stop
wasn't
saying
true
stigma!
There was a lot of push towards that audience from Nintendo.
There's only so many
and that
stigma
never
jokes I
rang
can
more
make.
true than the infamous E3 2008 conference. Now, there was actually some hype behind this conference. As it had been revealed earlier that year, Shigeru Miyamoto had been working on a new IP. The first one since his work on Pikmin back in 2000.
Holy shit, new
Just earlier
IP?
that year, Nintendo released Super Smash Bros. Brawl, one of the most hyped up games of that generation.
And then we all know what
All
happened
they
with that
had
one.
to do was keep the momentum going with some
Keep
awesome
the
game
momentum
announcements.
going, keep
and
it
this was
pumping.
the E3 that was going to do that.
Come on.
Those poor attendees. If
Oh,
they
those
only knew.
poor fuckers.
So the conference starts and has some lady come out and tell about her experience at Nintendo. And
My name is not Reggie, but these days I do have a lot in common with my boss. We're both having a lot of fun. I mean, how can you not be happy when your job every day is to get up and think about video games?
the first game they show off is Shaun White snowboarding on the Wii balance board.
He got
A
found
very
guilty a
grim
few
reminder
days
of
and
what's
got
to
life.
come.
Oh, Jamie Kennedy?
Ouch! I'll make the next one.
Damn,
Next
Sean,
up,
you suck at your own
Iwata,
video game.
Rest in peace, comes on to talk about the Wii success and how they've grown their
Rest in peace, Iwata. Let's get a Predator and a Bellin to sing an elegy for you.
demographic to Nintendo fans and casual fans. He says a new Mario and Zelda are in the works, and then shows the next game. A new Animal Crossing on Wii?
Wow!
Okay, no, that's actually kind of cool. One good reveal.
Sure,
Maybe this won't be
sure.
so bad.
Animal Crossing, we
Famous
take
last
those.
words. Reggie then comes on the stage to gloat about the sales and how many games the Wii is getting. That's nice, Reggie, but can you show some?
Show the
And they
damn
do. They show a
games,
couple of new
damn
games like Spore Creatures on DS and a new Raving Rapids on Wii.
Brace yourself.
But as the games are getting shown off, a realization slowly starts seeping in.
Uh-oh.
All these games that are getting announced are very casual focused.
Oh,
as in,
no.
they're made for people who don't typically play
Oh no, they're for
There's
normies!
something like a new Call of Duty, and even a GTA for the DS was announced. Chinatown Wars sucked ass. But other than that, it really
Wow.
seems like this was entirely
It can't be
focused on
that
a
bad,
non-gaming
can it?
crowd. They talked a big game about appealing to both hardcore Nintendo fans and casual players.
Uh-huh,
but this
sure.
E3 only really seemed to
sure.
appeal to the latter. Like, even though a new Animal Crossing is cool, nobody would ever call it a hardcore game. It's a game anyone,
It's fucking
even
Animal
casual gamers, can
Crossing.
enjoy.
It's a
So if
Goo
you
Goo
were looking for a
Babies
new Mario
type
and Zelda,
game.
all you really get is, oh yeah, they exist, and it's back to the bland stuff for the casual players. E3 was supposed
you don't
to
hate
be this
casuals
big
enough.
event, something a ton of gamers watch so they can get excited for the newest games. Casual players probably aren't going to watch E3, so really, who is this appealing to other than investors? This is also where they announced the Wii Motion Plus, an add-on that improved the motion controls of the Wii Remote, which is kind of a neat announcement, but they also announced Wii Sports Resort alongside with it to show it off. This would be a really nice announcement all in all, if they didn't spend so long showing off the add-on in Wii Sports Resort, just piling onto that for the casual gamer crowd.
Yeah. I mean, Wii Sports Resort's pretty cool, though. It's pretty cool. Woo! Woo! Cool, I guess.
Okay, so far,
people Animal Crossing exists for people to get crushes on Isabelle and Anka, and I have no problem with that. False. You forgot Raymond.
this is a very disappointing conference with nothing for the typical Nintendo fan, but hey, that game Miyamoto's working on, that alone can save.
Yeah, come on, show us the Miyamoto game.
Show us
come
what you got,
on,
Miyamoto.
show us. Show us.
Please welcome gaming legend Shigeru Miyamoto.
Oh no. Oh no. It's Wii music. Oh fuck. Oh guy. Oh, that guy. I remember that guy.
You failed me. This was Miyamoto's game.
Oh yeah, that guy. who I
Wii
watched
music.
that video on.
The casualist of casual games. You
Fucking
make
Wii music.
by shaking the Wii remote and nunchuck.
It's less
and you
of
look like
a
you have
game and
problems,
more of
which,
a
if you're playing, you should
toy.
probably do. This is the grand reveal of the show. This,
The big reveal.
Not Mario,
Fucking
not
Wii
Zelda,
music.
not Metroid or Pokemon or anything. This is the big game of the show. And what a glorious mess it is.
What a shit show. Yeah! Fallout Boy!
This guy is having the time of his life.
Jesus fucking Christ. This goes... Man, this must go hard if you have Down syndrome.
This is the rest of the conference.
This is just the
Miyamoto
conference.
and a bunch
It's
of others
just
playing off two minutes
this.
of classic Nintendo songs, while the audience looks on in horror, realizing they have wasted their time.
What
being
the?
here. This is when a lot of Nintendo fans believed Nintendo had completely abandoned them for the casual market.
Yep.
I mean, they still said a new Mario and Zelda were in the works, but that really came off as them throwing them a bone while Grandpa has a heart attack while playing Boogie. Nintendo fans weren't alone in this feeling, however,
Grandpa
because the fans of the other consoles
No!
would soon join them.
Jesus fucking Christ. Those poor fools. Oh boy, here's
It's
another good
inevitable.
one.
When the paradigm shifts, imitation is just around the corner.
2010 was an
Imitation
awful year
is
for
just
E3.
around the corner.
A lot of companies had pretty bad presentations, and if the presentation was somewhat decent, there was something holding it back in some way. While Nintendo's E3 2008 did not impress many gamers, it did impress Sony and Microsoft, because their E3s for this year focused on their answers to the Wii, the PS Move, and the Kinect. Their conferences were now going to be heavily focused on these in some way, tapping into that casual market to the ire of many of their
It's just that tap.
Now, Sony's conference this year wasn't really that bad, just kind of uneventful.
Yeah, I remember
there
that.
was a big focus on the PS Move in the first half, but they eventually moved away from it. And
I
showed
remember
some
that.
actual
The
games.
Stephen
There's even an appearance by
McCauley who
Babyface Gabe
faked the
Newell,
live stream
so
to
that's
take
a
out
real
his
treat.
pregnant girlfriend.
So I really like to thank everyone at Sony for their gracious hospitality and
Oh,
for not
hey,
repeatedly punching me in the
Gabe
face.
finally figured out the cell processor.
If I seem a little nervous, it's because Kevin Butler was introduced to me backstage as the VP of sharpening things.
So this conference isn't that bad.
It's
Microsoft,
okay,
however,
I guess.
is a different story. Now, the Kinect as a product is a neat novelty, but I am a gamer. I don't want to be the controller. I want to sit my fat American ass down and play some games on a couch or a chair with a controller in my hand. We don't need a whole conference
Nice.
dedicated to the Kinect, and well, this is exactly what we got.
I mean, the Kinect as an idea is really fucking cool, though. It's just that LiDAR technology wasn't, at least I'm assuming that, oh wait, no, was the Kinect LiDAR, or was it like infrared and, wasn't it infrared and, whatchamacallit? It's just motion and, LiDAR.
Now, the first bit of this conference is actually pretty good.
Okay,
we got a bit of neat spotlights
Duty,
like Gears
Gears
of War
of
3 and Halo
War,
Reach,
cool,
and even the
Halo
reveal
Reach,
of Metal Gear
mega
Rising:
cool.
Revengeance, which looks
Revengeance?
different to the final game. So, some actually good stuff. But
yeah, people fucking hate. By the way, people fucking hated this back then. I was one of them. I was one of the people that absolutely fucking hated this. The concept of this game, like, why is this a hack and slash? Why isn't this a stealth game? Then we actually played it, and yeah, it's still considered one of Platinum's greatest games of all time.
once the segment on Halo Reach is over, the conference takes a massive nosedive into the abyss. Only the first 30 minutes of this conference had actual worthwhile video games. The rest of it is dedicated entirely to the Kinect and its features, with some of the best natural acting you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, sure.
One thing we can do is watch stuff together. You see those topics at the bottom of your screen? Yeah. I can select one of them.
What's a rat porn, bro?
And we can watch the video together.
Sneed!
German car.
Sneed!
Made in Guatemala. Well, pardon us, Mr. Gucci loafers. I bought these shoes from a hobo. Well, la-dee-da, Mr. Park Avenue manicure. I'm sorry, I believe in good grooming.
They go on about
Sneed! You wouldn't last 10 seconds over the county line. Remember Zune? I mean, of course I remember Zune. My Go Live notification is your chance for a free Zune. Wow. That's fake. Just to get people to remember the Zune.
Sports and all the quality of life changes that Kinect brings to the Xbox, and then they
Motto of
start showing
several
the games.
YouTubers.
The first game they show was Kinectimals, the pack-in title with the Kinect, and they bring out a little girl to play and showcase it.
Wow.
Get Elson back.
By the way, this is all fake. This is all fake, by the way. It's all smoke and mirrors. Everything regarding Kinect.
People never talk about with this
the
conference
grooming.
is the complete tonal whiplash this is.
All of this was fake. There's another video you should watch about this.
I would like to remind you all what they were showing a few minutes before they brought this girl out to play with this cute virtual tiger.
Okay? I'm good.
Oh, wow. You can do this in real life. You can do this. Yeah! Oh God, it's the
You play that.
EDP is back. How? This is the V. That's the V, the musical version of "There Will Be Bloodshed." By the way,
Please.
man, even V did a 180 on that game. Hell yeah! What the hell, Quan Chi? He's killing Carmine.
They thought this conference.
He's killing Carmine.
And yes, this is the rest of the conference. A bunch of people flailing their bodies around to show off the Kinect. As you can imagine, this is pure torture for anyone that's not a casual gamer. And even then, I think casual gamers would have shut this off by now. You can get basically everything of substance in the first 30 minutes, and you're not missing much here.
Oh
Because
God,
it
it's
is
that
legit
song
the rest
from
of the focus
Yoshi's
of the
New
conference.
Island.
The only thing of note after the first 30 minutes they revealed is the redesigned 360 model. And this is
That's
actually
neat.
a good announcement because this model of the 360 won't offer itself with hardware failures. So this entire era...
I do have an Xbox Elite, and it hasn't croaked on me yet. Diesel Patches got his recent video on him yoinked for bullying. Good! We're protecting predators now. Awesome.
for people who just want to sit down and enjoy a game was pure torture. No, everything had to be motion controls. Play with imaginary targets and pretend you're driving a car that isn't really there. It certainly doesn't get any better than this. This must have sold some people because the Kinect actually did do pretty well on the market.
I definitely felt I definitely drank the Kool-Aid on that one. Oh.
Yeah, I thought so.
Everyone!
Now, I've been talking about individual conferences as a whole and how hard they completely flopped. But there have been some extremely bad moments and sometimes good and alright conferences.
This one's Kino,
and
though.
I think
even
some
though
of these are at
it's
least worth mentioning in their own segment if they left that much of an impact.
Fat
so here's a couple of one-off moments.
That's really stupid.
Sega Saturn is the newest.
Oh no! No, my baby! Oh my baby!
The Sega Saturn was Sega's foray into the 5th generation.
I actually have my Sega Saturn plugged in my setup. My Japanese Sega Saturn. Oh my baby. Oh my heart. My heart bleeds.
But they realized they had tough competition.
My heart bleeds.
The PS1 and N64 definitely had them beat in a number of ways.
Look, it's Mario!
So they had to do some sort of publicity stunt in order to get the attention they needed. So they had
look
the
at that
bright
draw
idea
distance.
to shadow drop the Sega Saturn on the US market. At the end of their E3 conference, they said the Sega Saturn was out now. Go and get yours today.
By the way, that's the Japanese executive told them to do that. Don't just blame Bernie Stoller. Blame Japan. Blame Japan. The whole release behind the Sega Saturn was a fucking shit show, but that's a story for another time.
This was very ballsy and something no one could have ever think of doing, especially back in 1995. Now, people
True Sega patriots, though, when they bought that, they loved it.
It's why it's still a thing. But you can't shadow drop a whole game console like that. There was no preparation, no marketing, no nothing. You can't buy a game console that expensive with nothing to offer. Apparently, only a couple of retailers were even told about this, and the masses didn't even know the Sega Saturn existed until they saw it in stores. This is one of the many reasons why the Saturn didn't do too hot outside Japan. Sega was ahead of the curve in many ways, but sometimes that was for the worst. Not to mention that amazing reveal of the PS1 price, just to dunk on Sega even further.
Oh, here we go.
$299.
The price heard round the world. $299 mic drop. And then the rest... And for that reason, that's why PS5 is, despite being disgustingly overpriced with 0 games, people still have a PS5. Fuck everything, right?
One of the most infamous E3 presenters was from Ubisoft's 2011 E3 conference.
Ah, Mr. Caffeine.
Mr. Caffeine, a fun, quirky presenter that is hip with the kids and does fun zany things to fail at appealing to the audience and being funny.
Man.
Everyone do it with me.
This is the VTuber presentators.
Wanna come over and play my Wii? We should connect. And thanks to the Sony Move, here, hold my Joy Wand.
Boo! Get off the stage!
Now, it all started with the Wii, and now with the Connect and Move, you might say it's multiplying like rabbits. Wait a minute, rabbits. We at Ubisoft know something about rabbits, don't we? It's not the regular kind of rabbits. I'm talking about the loud, obnoxious, slightly deranged, poop on your toothpaste kind.
I could have made a whole segment about him, but really, he's just a tryhard. Jamie Kennedy was on stage for the Activision presentation the whole time.
Oh my God,
and
does
like
he
I said,
try?
comes off as a disinterested drunk. But Mr. Caffeine
Nowadays,
here is only on at designated times, and besides, there are some actual good games with this presentation.
Yeah, Rayman Origins, fucking awesome game. They actually did away with lives by this era, which, yeah, we don't need lives anymore in our platformer games. That time's over. Nowadays, the only reason to make new consoles is to force everyone to fork out around $1,000 for new hardware. They could just keep making the PS5, but they won't. You forgot to add AI to it. That's the number one thing
that are thankfully not presented by him. Yeah, this is just a guy trying to be hip with the kids and failing hard. Not really enough for his own segment. While 2010 sucked for Microsoft at E3, Nintendo actually had a pretty good E3, for the most part. They showed off Donkey Kong Country Returns, Mickey, Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah?
We do not speak its name.
Oh.
It was pretty...
Somehow still not as bad as... Actually, no, Other M is still worse than Prime 4.
Pretty good for the most part. but their flagship game was, of course, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, showing off the Wii Motion Plus to its full potential. And oh god, they haven't got the motion controls down yet.
Here, I have to cut vertically.
Uh-oh. I mean, this is the alternative to scripting. This is the alternative to scripted. There you go. You
good
did
chunk
it.
of the showcase was having technical issues with their flagship game, which was not a good look. This was supposed to be a huge game, and it wasn't working out for them. Thankfully, the final game wasn't actually like this, but man, did it set the tone for Skyward Sword's mixed reception.
They really needed to.
And on the topic,
they really needed to fix it. And now we have the Switch version of Skyward Sword HD, which completely invalidates the original the Wii version. They added AI to Notepad and it became a security vulnerability. Nice job! People are getting forced to use it. Switch to Linux. Switch. I forgot which distro was the best. I don't know.
Nintendo, we have to talk about their 2015 digital presentation for E3. This wasn't a bad presentation.
The
It did have a few good games, but man, did it feature gut punch after gut punch for fans of a bunch of long-running series. Star Fox Zero got announced and everyone was excited, until the game was later found out to be a complete mess to control. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash was revealed, the most content-barren Mario game ever made.
It's just tennis. It's just tennis. What do I mean by this? It's just tennis with Mario characters. That's it. Nothing Mario about it.
Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival smashed any and all hope for a Wii U Animal Crossing game, and the biggest slap in the face of all, Metroid Prime Federation Force.
God,
Federation
Federation
Force. There had not been a new
Force.
Metroid game
This
since...
game is okay.
And now the series was getting a spin-off on the 3DS.
Man.
Which pissed a lot of people off. 2015 and especially 2016
Oh god,
were
you're all
considered
furry!
very dry years for Nintendo since the Wii U died and the 3DS was showing its age. So this event didn't do them any favors either.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course, we can't not talk about Microsoft getting absolutely blasted at E3 2013 after the reveal of the Xbox One and its horrible business practices. The amount of consumer distrust that had built up was monumental, and Sony was now ready to go in for the kill. And so they did.
This is how you share your games on PS4.
How to share the game.
Thanks.
PlayStation.
You can't do this on PS5 anymore because of funny shenanigans. So, yeah. You know what they say about he who fights monsters.
This combined with the fact that PS4 was $100 cheaper, this was maliciously planned and dug on Xbox in every which way. They couldn't recover from this. This was
I
just
cannot
a
justify buying an
complete
Xbox
ass
One now
blasting at their
except for Rare Replay, I guess.
You technically can't get any more embarrassing for a company at E3 than this. Well, almost. Yeah, this was a little rapid round of all-around embarrassing E3 moments.
But
and
what
how
is
do
the
you get any more
absolute
embarrassing than having an
worst
entire conference
E3
purely dedicated
presentation?
to kneecapping your console before it even comes
Something
out?
live long
Well,
enough to see yourself
it
become
would
the
take
villain.
something absolutely
Yeah,
catastrophic
so
to top that. But there does exist one more conference that takes the crown.
What is it, Mr. Mush? Here we go! Oh, God. Hi. That's what I do. It's literally me.
Yeah.
Yeah! Good.
You knew this was going to be here. Everyone who knows about
course.
E3 and all of its failures
Tuck
knew this was going to
Fuji
be here. This
from
will go
Konami.
down as the most catastrophic E3 conference.
Absolute
ever.
worst.
Everything that could have went wrong.
Blunder of the millennium.
You could make an hour-long video on this conference alone and everything that fell apart. For starters, the vast majority of these games are either completely
Why did
forgotten
Stoner did
or
the
hot
Austra-
garbage.
the
With the
funny
exception of
Austrian
Metal Gear
cater
Rising,
greeting?
Castlevania Lords of
I don't
Shadow,
know.
I don't think a single one of these games shown here is of quality or has any semblance of a following or any popularity whatsoever. Remember Never Dead? Remember 99 Nights 2?
I remember Never Dead. I heard it's pretty good, actually. A little kusuge, but still pretty enjoyable. And I remember 99 Nights, at least the first one. Apparently, it was supposed to be a spiritual successor to that one Kingdom Under Fire, if I remember correctly. Was that what it's called? Kingdom Under Fire? Kingdom Under Fire? Kingdoms Under Fire? It's the one with the Rick Blood.
Remember Def Jam Rap Star? The game that didn't even have clearance from the rappers who had their songs in the game? So they got sued for $9 million and the developer shut down?
Oof. N32 is 99 Nights.
Sounds about right for this being the first game they show.
99 Nights. There's 3 N's.
Each and every presentation.
Remember Beyblade?
To really get an idea of how awkward things are here. But no, actually, you can just watch.
You can compete
Behold.
in the online leaderboards and battle with armies of the more than 1 million troops.
1 million troops.
1 million troops.
1 million troops.
Wow.
Wow.
1
Amazing.
million troops.
1 million troops. Nice.
Love you guys.
How about this
Love you
lucha
too,
wrestling game where
Talk.
they bring out a bunch of newly naked lucha wrestlers to slap each other on stage while they're being weighed?
Hey, gentlemen. Hey, gentlemen.
Oh, shit.
Save it for the ring. Save
Yeah,
it for
save
the
it
ring.
for the ring. Just
This is
stop
tomorrow.
slapping your titties.
Hey.
Stop smacking each
Save
other.
it. Save it for the
Save-
ring. Save it for the ring.
Yeah,
It's
save it for the
tomorrow,
ring.
1:45 p.m.
Oh, shit.
Give it to me. All right, so I'll take it in the back.
That was a very poor choice of words to take to some half-naked luchadors. There is just something
Oh,
wrong
no,
with every
Saw
single
2.
game reveal.
Now that's
There
a
is
Kuso
always
get,
something
like,
off,
actual shit
and the crowd is
game.
almost always barely audible. They're as baffled as anyone
Did
else
they
watching
let the
this from
people who
home.
keep thinking
Sometimes
of
the
Kingdom Hearts
presenters
titles?
very obviously
Hey,
have
Duke,
Japanese as the
welcome.
first language, and they're
You,
trying.
you're a little
they're
late.
trying their hardest to speak to the audience.
We will dance with absolutely no controls.
No controller.
Now you can move your body freely.
Now you can move your
I
fat
think
body
we found-
free, Bree.
I think we found
no
his brother
longer
from
time
another mother.
down.
Copy that.
Copy that. Yeah.
I see these ripples on screen.
DDR died for this.
Yeah.
Why did Bimani do this?
Almost
Why did
2
Bimani
hours
do
long.
this?
2 hours of this.
2
Every
hours
game,
of
every
this.
presenter feels like a damn fever dream.
Silent Hill has helped shape what horror games are meant to be. So we're borrowing influences from what the successfully executed in the past. The disturbing creatures, the mind-boggling and
The
mind-bending
mind
psychology.
boggling. Alicia mentioned. Alicia mentioned.
What is this guy's problem? Why is he so angry? He's giving him the fucking death stare for no reason.
What is he
Oh
doing?
my
What's
God.
Brooke doing?
I feel like there's some
Boggling?
backstory here.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
that
getting.
boggling.
Screw Silent
No,
Hill.
Boggles.
Give me a game about angry Colonel
You know,
Shepard
the
here.
little, the little
I need to tell you
Kiwi
anymore why
guys
this
from
conference is so
Jumping
notorious?
Flash.
Go watch
Automedius.
any video.
Yeah, I love Automedius. I love Gradius. I love Automedius. Cute girls, designed by the guy who would eventually design the characters for Kimono Friends. And did you know?
YouTube of it. It will be more entertaining than any movie you've seen in the past few years. This kind of stuff can only be accidentally created.
It's accidental.
What's wrong with you?
Whoa!
Hey, tell me, what are you doing?
What the hell?
It's strictly confidential that we have a real model for this title. Put it back. Put it back.
Wait, how do they do that? Optical illusion, I think. I think that's an optical illusion. Yeah, I heard Never Dead. It's pretty cool.
This will never be topped. Nothing
This
can
is the
ever top
greatest.
the absolute absurdity this conference is. You could write a book on everything that went wrong here. But you have to realize, because E3 is no more, we will never get anything like this ever again.
No more
Like an
cringe.
XXX and Y, and
XXX, Y.
again. You'll be sucked.
It'll be sucked.
These absurd
Muso
moments and
games.
errors are what many remember E3 for.
Yep.
All people really wanted was the games, but those
Just
could have
wanted the
stood on their own.
games.
They could have
Archvile,
been
Spike,
shown
Flame
anywhere,
Boy.
and people would have watched them there. But
They have
these
Diablo
errors,
lighting.
these cringe moments are what are mostly
Set up in their
associated with E3.
Demon Dance
Now
games.
that everyone and their mother has these pre-recorded directs, that magic is now gone.
Yep.
You're not going to get
No, I
someone
don't-
fumbling over their words or doing something stupid on stage. Anytime they make a mistake on one of these, they can just shout, "Cut!" and they can do it again. And we'll never see the
Damn.
funny stuff. The most these pre-recorded presentations can be now is boring. and nobody likes to be bored. It's really only the game.
Yep, you're either memorably bad or forgettably bland.
Then that's what you're left with. Well, maybe I want to see some drummer flailing around like he has problems. You just gotta wade through some tracks to see it. These are the moments that made E3.
Gem.
And well, now it looks like that is all going out the window. Maybe E3 will make a comeback someday, maybe not, but this is all we're left with now.
At least we have Jeff Keighley's Summer Gamer Olympics. Extreme.
Heck, that's fast paddle. Not funny.
Not funny. God bless you, Talk.
If Jeff Keighley keeps making live conferences, we can always have him to thank.
I'm not allowed to say anything about it. Yes, exactly. All right. Well, guys. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys.
You can copy the man. You can arrest the man, but not the idea.
God bless
Jeff in his very accurate gaming predictions.
Cheers to Bill Clinton.
Hey,
Shoutouts to Bill Clinton.
You know, real quick, I want to thank everybody and say that I think I want to nominate.
He's my favorite FromSoft employee, by the way.
Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Bill Clinton kid. Thank you, High Guard. Thank you, everyone. Giant enemy crab attack its weak point for massive damage. Honestly, Jamie Kennedy announcing Stan Lee only for the audience to slowly realize he's not coming is hilarious. Personal PS3 anecdote. This person used to work at Circuit City when the PS3 came out. There was a display with PS3s at the front of our store. A man came in, grabbed one, and ran out the door. We didn't do anything. We just stood there and watched him book it across the parking lot. When he reached the street, he suddenly stopped, dropped the box, and went embarrassingly on his way. The box was there for display purposes and didn't actually have a PS3 in it. We all had a good laugh. That's funny. That's really funny. Remember what we saw him say a few months about a certain game? Yeah, High Guard. And he said, I'll be accepting your apologies. And, yeah. The Peggle 2 reveal was modified. The OG audience reaction broke the sound barrier due to the hype, but everyone was so jealous that they modified the video. I actually heard that Peggle 2 is kind of mid. E3 was the perfect showcase of corporate hello fellow kids cringe, and I genuinely love that there were so many great moments. Nowadays. Oh yeah, and then there's also one notable event was when Disney decided to broadcast E3 2018 live on their channel Disney XD, which was the channel that was trying to appeal to young teenage gamers. They got about halfway through the presentation with no issues until Gears of War Tactics was revealed. They had to cut the broadcast outright after the trailer showed an enemy's head exploding from a sniper shot. After that, the presentation kept cutting back in for a few seconds before back out for several minutes because Disney was too scared to show anything else in the show for more than a few seconds. It was a total disaster and the nail in the coffin for their whole gamer appeal phase. Wow. That's amazing. The moral of the story is I fucking miss E3. Jeff Keighley just can't compete. Jeffy just can't compete, man. All right, with that said, that's another week in the books. Another week in the books. With that said, it's time for me to say goodbye. I sincerely appreciate your patronage, and I hope I've succeeded in giving you an enjoyable morning of entertainment, or evening, or whatever time zone. Also, next week is my birthday week. Yay! My birthday is coming up. I'm getting old. I got a lot of stuff planned out. I got plenty of stuff planned out. I also have a kudo board. That I'm going to look at once that day comes. Hopefully it doesn't max out. I had to pay money for this. So a kudo board, so you can leave a message. You can leave a message. I don't know if it'll embed, but I have a kudo board. You can sign it, leave a nice message, how I changed your life, or give me birthday wishes. Actually, yeah, just give me birthday wishes. Just give me birthday wishes. I will not look at it until Monday. So, yeah. Get on with that. But yep. Got a lot of stuff planned out for next week, for my birthday week. It may change, however, because I might have some things to do. I may have some things to do that I have to do, so yeah, let's hope I don't get absolutely let's hope I don't get ganked by errands. All right, if you're on YouTube, please leave a like and subscribe. Helps you with the algorithm. And on Twitch, I'm going to throw you guys at All Bones Jones. It's going to be a raid and run, though, because I really have to do some errands right now. So, yep. I will see you all tomorrow, then. Wait, who the heck is this? Who the heck is this? Shoutouts to all our wonderful and patient moderators. Oh, this is a global mod message. Oh shit, that spooked me. But yeah. Please travel carefully, come back again soon. Goodbye, stay beautiful, love you all. See you on next week. And yeah. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. I hope you have a good weekend. Bye-bye.